apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuning in to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. It's a packed house in here tonight, just the way I love it. Always start with my little sis first. Porsche, what's going on, miss?
Not a whole lot, Kill. How are you?
Hey, everything is great. You know, people talking. I love it. Like Jay said, here's the funny part. The whole week I've been quoting Jay-Z because I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, since y'all love Jay so much, let me quote him. And what was that quote from Dear Summer? If it's not directly directed at me, I don't respect it. So for everybody out there who want to talk shit, if you don't tag me, what you talking shit for? I don't want other people coming back telling me somebody talking about you, Kill. Tag a nigga. But to quote no Lord and Savior, if it ain't directly directed at me, I don't respect it. So, JR, the R&B rap, what's going on, good brother?
What's going on, family? What's going on? Good to be here.
Everything is good. Burn out the ATL. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? What's up? Glad to be here. Missed y'all last week.
No doubt. Eddie, Freed Styles, what's going on, brother?
Yo, I'm good, man. Ready to get into this, man. It's been crazy on the timeline, but you know.
You know how that is. My good brother Ev, who has been missing in action. I don't even know where you been, man. What is going on, bro?
Just been working, man. It's a whole lot going on, but I've been missing the show for real because I don't get a chance to really have these conversations like that. So it's just I'm just glad to be back up in here. Glad to see everybody's face. So yeah, man, I'm with it. All right, let's do it.
No doubt. My brother Briz, what's going on, Briz?
What's going on, everybody? Wakanda forever. I hope everybody's been healthy and strong, been keeping distant, and let's have a good one today.
Briz, before we get into it, tell them about the book. I want to shout that out first and foremost.
Yeah, out now. Air Hustling, the Studio Blueprint. It's an introduction to recording art for anybody that's interested in learning more about the secret science and the sauce of which engineers kind of base their brew. So you can get a good foundation that'll help you increase and better your own sound.
All right, where can they get it at, brother?
So you can find it at airhustlingmedia.com. You can also find it on Amazon. And if you go to any of my Instagram or Twitter, Briz_airhustling, that's my IG, and then Air Hustling the book. If you go to either one of those and hit the link in the bio, it'll take you right to it.
All right, that's what it is. My man Rel out of Philly with the Ill Flyers jersey on. What's going on, good brother?
What's good, man? Happy to be here, man. Happy to be here. And look, all that timeline stuff, they really don't want no smoke, man. That's why I told you, I was just like, you know what? Y'all corny, man. I ain't even got time, man. Cause look, here's the thing. They missed so much. We talked about so much, but as soon as we mentioned Jay-Z, it just took everything.
Right. For real.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. Yeah. You could have learned something if you would have listened. You could have learned something.
Right before I hit tweet, I said, should I just let him go? Should I let him just go? I gotta hit.
Right. Like I was saying earlier, for everybody out there watching, you want to talk shit, where's your podcast? Yo, I got 5 young spitters right now that'll eat anybody's ass up. So you want to do beats, we can do that. Y'all want to battle? I'm from a battle era. See, I ain't come up in the 90s. I came up in the 80s, where if there was an issue, you had to battle. So you can't talk shit about shit that you ain't got. You can't be on the bus talking about, look at that nigga whack ass car. Nigga, you on the bus, my nigga. You can't talk shit about somebody's car if you ain't got no car. So if you ain't got no podcast, you can't talk. You can't. It's impossible. But we could battle with that too, because I put my podcast up against anybody. I don't give a fuck. I love everybody. Drink Champs, Joe Buttons, all them niggas. But yo, on the strength, I'm going head to head with anybody. If you know me on my timeline, I've gone at it with Just Blaze. I don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas be the ones cowering when a rapper come in the room, then they be, oh, hey, how you doing, Mr. Carter? I don't give a fuck. I talk the same shit about Jay if he in here or not. And if you follow me long enough, you know that's the honest to God truth.
Facts.
So I told Just Blaze, let's go at it. I don't give a fuck.
I don't understand grown men in their 30s and 40s cowering down to some rapper or saying, man, what is
that don't even know him.
Y'all, did they write y'all check?
So all that to just say, for all the people who want to talk trash, just keep talking trash. I appreciate you because I've been dying to say this. For so long, I've been dying to say this. The Apartment 5B podcast is sponsored by So What's the Scenario Game. So for all of that shit people talking all week, I'm just glad that God blessed me at the end with the first piece of sponsorship. When I start this year off and people follow me, I said that. I said, I need y'all support because I want to get sponsorship this year. The first sponsor came in and we only in February. See, I be making goals thinking that may not happen till July, August. Now, a guy like my G, you got it in February. So all that to say, so what's the scenario game? It's a dope card game. You talking about battles. You got 90 rappers cards. The first dope hip hop game. We just gonna be supporting this. We gonna be shouting it out. So just definitely Apartment 5B is sponsored. So again, before you talk shit, make sure your shit is sponsored. It's sponsored by What's the Scenario Game.
Hey, Kira, what can they copy that?
That's a good question. I'm gonna bring that up at the end because this shit just happened today. I'm just so happy to say it. But by the end of the day, by the end of this podcast, I will have the website and everything straight for that. But thank you for. You know what, that burn? That was a bad alley oop on my part. You threw the alley and I ain't had an ups. I ain't have it right there. That's my bad. You had a nice alley oop, but I dropped that, bro. I dropped that big time.
Yo, can I just want to say something real fast on the fact that you're getting sponsorship, man. I just have to get a quick little sentiment moment. We started this joint years ago when we was doing the writer's bench, but I gotta say, you kept that thing running. You know, it was me and you, we talked about it, we got it going, we had a couple of brothers on it when we started doing it, but you were diligent with it, man. You kept your nose in the ground, and you just kept moving and kept moving. So the fact to come back and to see you have Apartment 5B sponsored is phenomenal for me. And I salute you, good brother, because you deserve that and much more. And if NPR is listening, you need to get at my man because he needs a show on NPR. So
I appreciate you, good brother.
Hey, Kira,
I appreciate you, good brother.
Sure.
Kira, I got this scripture on my arm, and it's just what Ev said. It's Proverbs 22:19. Do you see a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before lesser men. And that's a testament to what you've done, bro.
Thank you, good brother. Thank y'all. And the website is called SoWhatGames.com. SoWhatGames.com. You can copy the joint. All you gotta do is put an Apartment 5B as your promo code. You're gonna get free shipping for that. So definitely check it out. So what's the scenario? We got that there. All right, y'all. This week's podcast is all about, it's light this week. Ev hit me like, what y'all talking about? I gotta do homework. I said, nah, it's light this week, bro. It's light. After last week, it's real light. So tonight we're just talking about
whatever, man.
But somebody will find a way to get mad at this too. Like, how you ain't love Jay-Z when you, but neither here nor there. This is all about love at first sight. What it was this week, I posted PRT, Poor Righteous Teachers Holy Intellect album. You know what I mean? That's what I was banging this week. And I was saying, you know, Wise Intelligence doesn't get enough love or props to me for his style. Like when we talk about MCs with an original style or a dope voice, nobody ever talks about them or that album. But Rock This Funky Joint was just crazy to me. That whole album was stupid to me. So it had me thinking, like, what are songs or artists or groups that when you heard it, it was just love at first sight. Like it wasn't no rap, like not a bad example, but an example of the flip for me would be like when I first heard I Left My Wild and El Segundo, I wasn't a Tribe fan. I was like, it's cool, you know, it's cool. You know, I heard Benita Applebum, I was like, I like this more. Then I heard Can I Kick It, but when I heard Check the Rhyme, that's when I became a Tribe fan. But then they are also artists that as soon as I heard them, I was a fan from the door. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Artists that you heard and you just knew from the first time you heard it that you was going to be a fan. Porsche, who's the first person you got up for you?
I got Ghostface, Iron Man album. And I think the first track I heard off of that was it was the last track, I think. All That I Got Is You, and it was just something about the emotion and the description and the way that Ghost kind of told the story that just hit, like it just kind of hit me in my heart and soul and kind of just kept me there. And the whole entire album is amazing. I don't talk about it enough. That's one of my favorite albums of all time, but that was the song that just kind of, you know, made me fall in love with that album. And of course, the rest is sort of history. I mean, that album is amazing. 5 Mics. So.
No doubt. JR, what about you, good brother?
I'm gonna go with Big. When I heard Big on A Bunch of Niggas with
Heavy
with
Dig.
yeah. When I heard that, because with my pops, he played a lot of EPMD, LL, and Slick Rick. So when I heard Big, it was something different. I was like, oh, cat from Brooklyn too? I was like, oh, okay. And then from there, I was a fan.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. What about you, Vaughn?
De La Soul, 1988. I first heard Plug Tuning on the college radio station. Then Jennifer. Then Potholes. It was done, bro. And, you know, I've seen them in concert 2 or 3 times. The discography, actually, they have my favorite discography in hip-hop, except for the last album. Nah, no shade. But no, De La Soul for me.
All right, no doubt. Eddie, what about you?
I got a more recent artist in comparison, but Fonte. And I first heard him on the Chitlin Circuit 1.5 because I remember hearing about the listening on OK Player, but you couldn't get the listening because it was like limited pressing or whatever, right? So there was like this whole aura around the listening, but when I saw Chitlin Circuit 1.5, I copped it, and it had certain songs that were on the listening, but like remix versions, and then all the original stuff. But my thing with Fonte was like, he sounded to me like, yo, this dude is just honest. Like, he's such an honest MC, like just, you know, a blue collar, but you know, it had been a while since I heard an MC like that, especially a young MC. You know what I mean? You usually don't hear that from someone at that time. They were still young, you know, so you usually don't get that out of young MCs. So I thought it was impressive, and his sense of humor, and that was another thing that appealed to me, you know. So yeah, it was like, yo, I'm checking for whatever else. And then after that was with the minstrel show. I think I went back and finally heard the listening, and even the first the Foreign Exchange, the first Foreign Exchange album, also with Nicolay. So, yeah, Connected. So it was a rap. I was like, damn, Fonte could do no wrong for me.
Yeah. All right, no doubt. Ed, what about you?
Mine goes back a little bit. It would be Black Moon. When I first heard Black Moon, it wasn't Who Got the Props. It was actually Buck 'Em Down, the original version of Buck 'Em Down. And when I heard Buck spit on that, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to get that pen and just start. It was so influential. So Black Moon was one of the ones when I first heard. I just like, and this is back in the day doing your Walkman period. So you be on your H bus, on the L, the XH, whatever it is, and you just throw your headphones on and you would just ride with it. So that was my like traveling music for a very long time. So Black Moon.
That's what's up. What about you, Briz?
So I figured that there'd be a lot of overlap with a lot of the artists that you already named. First one was Tribe for me, checked around, so we'll move on from there.
No. Speak on that, because like I said, that wasn't one of mine. So,
well, I would tell you this, that when I wasn't. Scenario was the first Tribe record I heard, and I can't say it was the first Tribe record I heard, but it was the first one I paid attention to, because in that era, that whole time frame, I think it was early 90s, that I really like. Everything was about the posse, everything was about the crew, everything was about like these big groups, and that's kind of how we as young black men was moving around. We were moving around. Everybody had their crew. Everybody watched Juice. Everybody knows like it was all about the crew, and that was when those big posse cuts came out. It really would grab my attention. And scenario pulled me in, and then checked the rhyme, and then that just led me to Low End Theory, and then I had to go back and while I wasn't the biggest fan of like Bonita Applebum and Left for Wild and Segundo, Low End Theory was definitely my first tribe experience, full experience, and it made me a fan for life.
All right, no doubt. What about you, Ralph?
Mine is it came from a movie. It was LL. LL's scene in Crush Groove. Like as a kid watching that, I was just like, yo, this got to be the illest dude. Like that scene was crazy. He just walked, you know what I mean? They like, yo, we ain't doing no more tryouts, and he just boxed and just started killing it. You know what I mean? Like, so after that, you know, that became like my, you know, because I was really young when I was a little kid when that came out. But that, when I saw that, it just, you know what I'm saying, had an impression on me. And, you know, saying I followed Boy ever since, you know what I'm saying? Like, and of course, you know, he took off, but that was my first impression of him. And I was just like, yo, this dude is ill. So it would be LL for me.
All right, no doubt. My first joint, I'm going with Wise Intelligence. Like I said, we set this whole thing off. The first time I heard Rock This Funky Joint, just the way he came in with that time again, flow. I don't even know what the hell he said. Radical hip as I get to the point. Rock this funky joint. I was just like, yo, I ain't ever heard nobody with this voice. Then the video was just crazy too. Like, so that was my first joint. And then what F said with Black Moon, I had Buck on here too. But the thing I loved about Buck is that I loved him when I first heard Who Got the Props. I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know, the video, the backpacks, everything like that, all the energy. Then the next time I heard him, he sounded like a whole new person. Yeah. When you hear How Many MCs Must Get This, it don't even sound nothing like who you heard on the first single. And to me, not only him and Big have done that. You know what I mean? And we talked about that before, how you listen to Ready to Die and Big is, you could tell Unbelievable was at the end of the album, and you know, a lot of the other stuff was in the beginning. Same thing with Buck. You could tell when you listen to, you know, Into the Stage that How Many MCs was one of the last songs they recorded before they started going into, you know, all the remixes. So yeah, I mean, both of them joints I just love, from the visuals to the songs, just everything was perfect with those joints for me. So it was definitely love at first sight.
Buck had me when he said, I'll do a drive-by on a skateboard.
Yeah,
that was it for me. I was like, oh, I've never heard no shit like that before. That's it. That's done.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, not too many MCs can say they changed their style, and both styles was dope as hell. Because you know, half of the bulk of Into the Stage is old Buck. You know what I mean? Like that's old Buck. You don't. All you get is How Many MCs.
Then you get into the remixes, what I Got You Open and Buck 'Em Down, and you just a completely different style. He just kept evolving, man. That cat was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was crazy. Porsche, what about you? What you got?
I got Blue, Below the Heavens. I think everyone who knows me knows how much I love Blue. And that album is just my first introduction to him. And literally, it was like a brand new joint that I'd never heard, so I just started it from the top, and just his ability to rap, his flow, the delivery, his chemistry with Exile, like everything about that album, I was like, yes, like this is somebody I can rock with, and he's like newer, and he's not like everybody else, and he kind of stands out, and honestly, he's not perfect by any means, no rapper is, but Blue has not let me down, really. And I continue to enjoy projects, but that album is what really kind of put him on the map for me in my sort of life and music library and all that. And he sort of has never left. And I just like him more and more. And I love this album more and more the more I hear it. So, yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. What you got, JR?
All right, so now I'm gonna get my R&B back. So
it's funny. I was just about to say, you know, you could.
Yeah. I wanted to get my. I only had one. But when I heard Gladys Knight at 5 years old was a rap. Like I literally will never forget the day I heard her. My mom was playing some records or whatever, and I was playing my Super Nintendo, and my mom played Neither One of Us. And I literally dropped my remote control, was like, yo, who is this? And I ran out the room and was like, Mom, who is this? She was like, that's Gladys Knight. And I was like, yo. And from that moment, she's been my favorite singer since I was 5 years old. Her voice is like nobody else's. It reaches your soul like something. Like Gladys can sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, I don't care. Like for real, like she can sing that and it will hit my soul. So from that moment at 5 years old, I heard Gladys Knight and she's been my favorite singer since.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Because you're the R&B guru.
Yes.
A lot of times I'll always hear Aretha and Patty's name before Gladys. Do you think that's the norm? And why do you think that is? Did they have bigger records or?
You know, Gladys is not really out there as much as Patty is. Patty is like the auntie, you know what I mean, that everybody loves. You know what I mean? And Aretha is just Aretha. You know what I'm saying? So when you start calling out females, you're not really gonna call Gladys like that, even though she is a legend and she got many hits as much as they do. But Gladys is not really out there. She's not really the outspoken one like they were. She like, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm chill with where I'm at. You can ask me anything you want, but I'm not gonna be. I'm sorry, Aretha might be dead, but it's true. Aretha was me. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And Patty, she just like, you want to hang out with Patty. You want to chill with her. Gladys just has that. I'm good. I don't need all that. You know what I mean? So that's why.
Was Gladys out before Patty?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to say
LaBelle was the 70s. So Gladys was Motown in the 60s. So
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to remember that Patty LaBelle and the Bluebells was in the 60s too. So they all kind of came out around the same time, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like all of them started really in the 50s for real, but then they started getting deals and stuff in the 60s, and then everybody kind of went from there. But Patty and them may really blow up until they were LaBelle in the 70s. Because really nobody really even know about Patty and the Bluebells like that. Because
except for you.
So I'm wondering, I'm trying to think about this in hip hop. So would you say maybe Gladys is like a Pharoah Monch? Like, because I feel like out of that crew, like, you know, people are going to say Black Thought and Common, out of that whole Howard University, Peace People, Incense, you know, Gods and Earth. Like, I feel like they're not going to really name Pharoah like that. But he's just as important and just as nasty as Thought, Common, and Mos and all of them. But I feel like you said, Pharoah ain't in nobody's movie. So with Black Thought, Common, and Mos, they're in different places. You know what I mean? Whereas with Pharoah, he's just kind of in the background over here, but just as important. All right, that's dope. Vern, who you got up next for yours?
All right, I'm piggybacking off of JR because my next four are R&B. I'm going Eric Roberson. It was the winter time. That's what I remember.
You suck.
Vern about to go into detail. It was a cumulus cloud day. It was about 58 degrees. The sunroof was not open, but it was vented.
It was BET. It was him and a cat on the acoustic guitar, and they did Right Back to You.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this kid? And instantly after I watched that, I went on his website and bought his whole catalog. I've seen him in concert like 3 times, and then when Left came out and my sister let me see that CD, it was definitely over then. Like he does great live shows. He's funny, self-deprecating. He's dope. He's freestyle. Like I say, his live shows are stupid, and he's the blueprint on independent artists on how to get your buzz. I remember him saying early in the game, "I'd rather you give me your email address than buy my CD because with your email address, I can do more things with it." And he's made a career off of not being on a label and flourished in it. So yeah, E-Roll, that's one for me.
That's dope. That's dope. Eddie, what you got up, brother?
Yo, I got Wu-Tang. First time, so at the time when 36 came out, I was what, 13 in 93. So realistically, like my parents wasn't playing rap around the house. I mean, the most my dad had, like when I was younger, was like the older like 80s type of records, right? But 90s stuff he wasn't. So I remember my cousin was playing Method Man, the single Method Man. And I remember like my ears perked up. I was like, yo, what is that? And she was like, "Yo, that's Method Man by Wu-Tang Clan." I was like, "Yo, can you dub me that?" And she made me a copy of the whole album, the whole album. So like I just fell in love with it after that. I mean, but then I remember,
So would you say it was Method? Would you say it was Meth or the whole Wu? Like Protect Your Neck, or would you be like it's more Meth?
I would say initially it was Meth because that single, but then that led me to hear the whole album, and then it was the whole Wu. You know what I mean? But initially Method Man, that single just blew my mind. But then the rest of it too, it just opened up that box for me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Ed, what you got, good brother?
Oh man, that's a hard one to follow because Eddie, I remember that single, and I remember it was a little white tape and the little cardboard. It was no like nobody's picture on it. It was that's one of them joints that you say like you remember where you were at when you first heard Method Man. So yeah, that's a strong one. I'm going to say my next one is going to be The Show. I remember I was a young cat, man. I was in summer camp. I was leaving Simon's Rec, and it was one of them.
I still don't know how you went to Simon's from being from Mount Airy, bro.
Exactly. Like why we at Simon's Rec, but we was at Simon's Rec, and I remember this cat. He had a boombox, and he was walking down. I can't remember what street that was. He was walking down the joint, and he was playing it. And I remember being a young kid, and I got goosebumps because it was like, yo, what is that? And he came from behind us and walked past. And he was just like, he was walking and bopping with the joint. And I was like, yo, that thing was crazy. So yeah, The Show, man, that joint it changed my whole reality around hip hop. Like at that moment, it was like, oh, hip hop, not just rap music, hip hop. Right, oh, okay, right. I got it now. And being a young kid and having that experience, man, it was mind blowing. Yeah. So
Who would you say it was? Would you think it was more Rick or Dougie, the beatbox, or just everything, just the whole package?
It was a combination of, honestly, it was a combination of the two, because to hear Dougie on a beatbox, that's the first thing I heard was the beatbox. And I was like, it just sounded different coming out of a boombox. So I'm like, I hear that. Then you hear Rick. And that's just, excuse me, Dougie Fries. It was just like, that was it. At that moment, I was stuck.
Right.
So yeah.
And for all the little kids watching, a boombox was a huge radio. I have a because dead ass. Somebody watching is like, the hell is a damn? How you get an MP3 player in a boombox? I'm gonna find my boombox book around here somewhere. But that's that. Briz, what you got up next, good brother?
1992, Snoop Dogg, Deep Cover. Yeah, everything prior to that was mostly like East Coast. I mean, I had heard of and was familiar with NW and everything like that, but that changed. I think that changed everything for the next 4 years of my life, because the sound was nothing like I had ever heard. Snoop didn't sound like anything I had ever heard, and I was hooked from there.
Yeah,
man.
The cover was
for all the good book. Y'all know me and Portia Bookworms, the Boombox Project. It's what a boombox looks like. Boom, that was my dream one as a kid. The dual tape deck up here, and the two over here.
Wow.
Like this was like
how many batteries did that take?
What happened?
How many batteries did that take?
I was just remembering that you had
like 14
8 of those massive batteries in the bottom. So big. Oh damn.
Yo, it's crazy, but seriously, yo, dope book. Go cop this. I mean, it even talks about how you could break off the tips of the cassettes so that you couldn't dub over them by mistake. So, for anybody out there, oh man, they got so many classic ones in here too.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Yeah. So yes, boys and girls, this is how before there were Beats by Dre's and AirPods and MP3 players, you had a boombox and you was trying your best not to get robbed for your boombox. So that's
conservatives like to call them ghetto blasters.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Right. Rob, what you got up next, good brother?
I actually got an R&B John too. And the good thing about this question is like it's the moments like that you remember. Like, so, you know, my mom had me at a young age, so I had to kind of grow up with her, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think she couldn't find a babysitter, so I had to go to a concert with her, and it was a Sade concert. It was a Sade concert, and I was a kid, but I was like in a trance or something. I don't know what she was doing on the stage, bro. Like, I just was like stuck. Like, I couldn't believe somebody sounded that good, like live sing. You know what I'm saying? And I was, of course, entranced by the way she looked as well, and the music. And then I just remember from that day, I was just like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, follow her music, and I've been a fan ever since. And I probably wouldn't have got that opportunity really if it wasn't like just having to be around with my mom, you know what I'm saying, and going to the concert with her, for her not having a babysitter, you know what I'm saying. So it was just a moment that I always remember. And so when you sent this question, that was like one of the first things came to my mind. Like that was when I became a fan of her, is at a concert with my mom in Philly. So
you remember what song? What song was like the one that hooked you? Or I mean, I know you was a shorty, so you probably may not remember, but
I want to say Smooth Operator. I'm not sure, but I want to say that's what it was. But I just remember the band, and I remember her, and just how like it was like you were in like a trance. The way the music, it was just a vibe. You know how everybody says it's a vibe. It was really a vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt it as a kid. You know what I mean? So I was just like, yo, this is crazy. You know. So ever since that day, you know what I'm saying, I've been a fan of hers.
It's crazy that Sade's been out since '84, and we still love her music. We're still waiting for more music. Still want to see her in concert. Like, that's a testament to like just dopeness. You know what I'm saying? Yo, real quick, want to read a quote that I was reading. If you had a box, you was really putting yourself out there. You were putting it on the line with this. If this is what I'm listening to. If you were walking down the street playing your music, it's a big deal. It's a brave and a kind of proud moment when you can carry your box around. That's from Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys. Another boy said, when I look at the boombox, it really symbolizes a very pure time before big business and money were interested in our culture, before it was on anybody's radar, even parents. It was something that we shared as a small youth-based community. This is how we communicated. This is how we listened to our music. And until the rest of the world was aware of it, it was something very pure. You know, and both those quotes just hit home for like, yeah, this is before anybody like knew what was going on. So Ed, when you telling that story of like how you said you were very specific in hearing it through a boombox, not hearing it on the radio or not hearing it, but when you heard it through a boombox, and then like Ad Rock said, you putting yourself out there like that. You walking down the street with a $200, $300 radio. That was a lot of money back then. See, kids don't know shit nowadays because a pair of AirPod Pros cost $200. So it was like, or a pair of Beats cost $350. Like, I walk around with $350. Not in the 80s, you wasn't. I can tell you this. Not no Reagan era Philadelphia crack system was you walking around with your Beats on you being robbed in a heartbeat. That's funny, Evan. And, bro, you know, being from Philly, to this day, I never wear no noise canceling headphones out the house. That's strictly for the house. Because you come from Philly, nigga, I need to know what's going on around me.
You gotta be on point. On point all the time.
No air canceling headphones for me. I don't want to. I need to hear everything. So
yes, sir.
Another dope. The next people I said something about this a couple of weeks ago when somebody said that they were one-hit wonders, and it's Das Effects. The first time I heard They Want Effects, when it started with that bum stiggly bum hop, it was a rap. It was a rap, and it just kept going from there, and it was just, and it's amazing to me how like we always talk about how like people are trying to change the narrative because people are really trying to be like, man, Das, after that diggity shit, they was done. And I'm like, yo, real hip hop? Like, yo, are you niggas bugging? Like, yo, like, how do y'all just go, how you call them one? Yo, I was just telling people the Mike Checker remix, the way the remix comes on, yo, stop it. Stop.
Yo, the Microphone Master joint with Mobb Deep.
The Microphone Master remix with Mobb Deep, and that's off their third album. So this whole... They one-hit wonders. It's like it leads me to believe that these people like work for BET or MTV or somewhere like that. Because MTV had a show and they were saying Biz was a one-hit wonder, and the hit that they were going with was Just a Friend. I'm like, yo, what about the whole Going Off album? One hit wonder. This nigga had 5 singles getting played on the radio at the same time.
I hate those shows with the
but
one.
Again, if you're not ahead, then you're right. You look at Biz as somebody who, just. But here's the thing, y'all, and I don't want to belabor this, but I don't know. Any of y'all watching WandaVision? The whole thing with Marvel?
The whole thing, yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm loving it. But here's the thing. I haven't been a comic book head for years. So I don't know a lot. But you know what I always challenge people to do? Do your research. So all this past 2 weeks, I've been on YouTube watching all the anything, what was going on in the comics and the twins and all of this stuff. Do your homework, because what's happening is you're having people. I can't write a review on WandaVision because I'm not a comic book head, in my opinion.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to write a review about it, even though I'm watching it, because in my opinion, I'm not skilled enough to dive into that comic world yet. And that's what's happening with a lot of hip hop people is they like it, but you don't know enough to really report on it. Because if you're calling Das or Biz one hit wonders, if that's the point, Kane never had a song as big as Biz is Just a Friend. So what's Kane? If Biz is a one hit wonder, what's Big Daddy Kane? A no hit wonder? So again, people out there people taking shots, you better know your hip hop, because I know a lot of shit, y'all. So just again, for all your people out there, just know your shit before you start running your mouth. Porsche, what you got next, miss?
I have MC Light's Light as a Rock. And I remember, I obviously didn't hear it right when it dropped, but the first single or the first track I heard from my brother's friend at the time, and then my brother, was I Cram to Understand You. And I think that was the first single off the album. And I just was I remember I was just so shocked that there was a woman who was rapping, because up until that point, I hadn't heard any women in hip hop because everything was dudes. It was just dudes everywhere. And then all of a sudden, here's this woman who's rapping like better sounding to me at the time than all the dudes I was listening to. And I just was so taken away with that MC Light instantly became one of my favorites. And again, she's never kind of fell from that. But Light as a Rock is, to me, a 5 mic album. It's a classic. It's dope as hell. And she just is a phenomenal MC. So that's the first time I sort of loved MC Light as a rapper, and just, yeah, I mean, she blew me away. She was literally better than the dudes at the time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
that paper thin video was mine.
It would be years until I was seeing videos. I was not videos at the time, but
her command over that track was just like that was different. You could tell that was different when you saw it and heard it. You know what I'm saying?
What you gonna say, Bart?
When I was up in DC and we went to the Smithsonian, they had that paper thin video.
Yes, they did. Yeah,
I got goosebumps thinking about the hip hop section of Smithsonian, man.
Oh my god.
We can get out of this pancreas so we can go back up there and really enjoy it.
You already know, man. You already know. That would be a dope apartment 5B meetup. That would be meetup.
Yeah.
That would be a meetup. I don't know what that is. All right. I think he's not still there. If everybody can mute themselves for a second.
I think it might be bad.
Let me see. Ev is muted. All right. Yeah. So everybody unmute yourself now, because I think Ed is right. All right. So I think it's Ev. So as soon as he gets back on, see if he can jump back on. See if it's right. Yeah, but I think it's you. Can you jump off and jump back on? All right.
Yeah, we got caught up in the loop.
Yeah, had the Roger Troutman joint going on there.
I just been sitting, chilling, listening, man.
My fault. I ain't even see you down there, bro. They need an alarm system or something when somebody log in. Yeah, the thing about Paper Thin with MC Lyte for me that I always remember is just the fact that she spit the rhymes, but then the instrumental kept going, and they had like the ad libs in the background. And see, now it's back again.
Is it?
Maybe it's me. Let me try. Yeah, I think it's me. Shit.
Do y'all hear it?
No.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
All
I
right.
don't hear it either.
All right, cool. All right, so Rex, since you just jumping on, why don't you give us like two of yours? Love at First Sight. As soon as you heard them, you was just in.
First one, Jill Scott. Was that 2000?
Do this R&B stuff again.
No. It's a story behind it. Story behind it. So I didn't know who she was. Never heard of her a day in my life. At this time, I'm hardcore hip hop head. Don't know nothing about no R&B, right? I'm hating on everything soft. I'm with my girlfriend at the time, and she plays me this album. She's from Delaware. She's from Wilmington. If you know, Wilmington is nothing more than like 40 minutes down the street from Philly.
From Philly, yeah.
Dog, I'm in the middle of the hood in Wilmington doing the go-go rough it off to the go-go joint that she got. I was in love with that album from the day I heard it, man. So Jill Scott Jones. Every time I hear it, it takes me back to that time in Wilmington. Second one, EPMD.
Nice.
It's probably the reason why I'm a DJ. I was living in Queens at the time, and my uncle had put on Kiss, BLS, I think it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the EPMD joint comes on. What's the single? I'm having the brain fart.
Before you guys are showing all that stuff, you talking about It's My Thing or Either You're a Customer. That was like the first two joints that came out.
It had to have been It's My Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting there, and it's like Rel said, yo, I was stuck. Now, mind you, my first 7-8 years of my life, I grew up in another country. So the hip hop that I got was spoon fed to me. I had never heard no shit like that before in my life. I was stuck. I was done. And I knew from that point on, whatever that was, I wanted to be a part of. And that was 87, 88. So those are my first things I can think of just off the top of my head.
That Is My Thing. That's the whole darn family has arrived right there.
Man.
That's that right there. A lot of you Jay-Z stands would notice for Ain't No Nigga. Just letting you know they got the beat from EPMD. Just that I know he invented it. Jazzo invented everything. So
Jazzo chopped that for him, right?
He
had like split of Adam when he talked about making that beat.
Right.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he sure did. Act like, yeah.
JR, before somebody take another one of your R&B people, who you got?
Well, this is actually killing two in one stone because I put them on the same, the OJs and Gamble and Huff. I remember when my grandfather played Time to Get Down or the Backstabbers album. And it was just the way my family was vibing to it. And my mom was like, do you hear this production on this? And I'm like, who is she talking about? Like, what? And I was like, well, who is this? And she was like, well, this is the OJs, this is Gamble and Huff. And I was like, oh. And from that moment, I was like, research started. And I was like, anything that Gamble and Huff had, I tried to listen to. And anything that the OJs had, I tried to listen to, clearly. So that's why the OJs are my favorite group, and Gamble and Huff is in my top 5 producers of all time.
You know the thing, this is a message just for the simple fact that how I'm always challenging parents that you gotta teach your kids about music. You know what I'm saying? Like like JR is like a perfect example of, and it still blows my mind that this cat is 30, but he can tell you more about music from the 60s. Probably just as, you could probably go toe to toe with somebody who's 65 years old and you half their age. You know what I'm saying? But that's because if you always listen to them, my mom was playing, my dad was playing, My dad said this about Rick. My mom said this about that. It's just the importance of, again, that if you love something so much, how don't you teach your kids about it? Like I don't understand how you got all these people who claim they love hip hop, but their kids don't know nothing. I ain't saying your kid gotta know how to turn on the MPC and write a rhyme. I'm just saying they gotta at least know a song, right? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, again, salute to your mom's. Happy belated to her too.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yes, Bird, what you got next, good brother?
I'm going to foreign exchange, man. I was watching BET, and
that's when I came too.
Take Off the Blues was on, and I'm like, that's fine tape. And so then I went to Barnes and Nobles. I'll never forget this. I'm at the register and I'm hearing Leave It All Behind. I'm like, man, what is this? That's the foreign exchange. I copped that mug and I'll tell you the story at a time. I put that in my car and ran it for like 2 months straight, just back to back, over and over and over again. Seen them in concert 3 times. And here's the other thing I love about the foreign exchange. Fonte's dope, Nicolet's dope. But from the foreign exchange, you get Zoe, you get Cy Smith, you get Carmen Rogers, you get Shante Ken, Gwen Bunn, King, Khalida Duran, Darren Brockenden, Chocolate, Jesse Boykins, Shauna Tucker, Yazara, Bosco, Dornick, Devin Morrison, Madison McFerrin, and Musina. I mean, they collab just like, I love them because Fonte is like, man, I went on YouTube and I saw this dope person. I hit him up, Musina, come to my house. We doing 3, and he bring people out. And like on Zoe, check it out on Amazon Prime, The Making of Sunstorm. Fonte's like, listen, if I hit you up, I'm doing this for you. To introduce you to all my broad fans. We gonna win regardless, but I'm doing this for you. So he ain't scared for you to steal his shine because he's confident in his shine. So yeah, foreign exchange. And they live shows are ridiculous. Fonte's a fool. Nicolay be having fun up there. Zoe be getting busy. Carmen Rogers, she's so dope. Yeah. Her new album about to drop too.
Tomorrow, yes. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No doubt. Eddie, who you got up next, good brother?
All right, so this next joint, it was 2 artists I discovered on the same song. One hip hop and one R&B. So the song was Tainted by Slum Village. And it was the first time I heard Elzai, and it was the first time I heard Dwelle. So, dope single, but, you know, really discovering, like, when I heard Dwelle, I was like, yo, he sounds dope. And then I went on and, you know, found Subject, you know, his first solo album, I think, came out the next year. And Elzai, I felt like, you know, obviously, you know, Slum Village had Dilla, but I think technical skill-wise, like, I personally feel like Elzai was the best MC ever in Slum Village. You know, y'all Dilla stands could fight me on it. You know what I mean? Like, Dilla is multi-talented. We all know this. No slander on Dilla, but from a technical level, MCing and wordplay, I'm taking Elzai, and that was my introduction to Elzai in that joint.
Dope. I agree with you 100%. I think the only thing that kind of threw me with Elzai was that the thing was, to me, that Slum Village was never a lyrical group. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like if you just had, God, I don't even know an example to even put, like, if you took EPMD and then tried to replace Parrish with fucking, I don't know, Keith. I don't know. I don't got no example.
No, I hear you.
You know, like none of them were lyrical to me. Like, they were just like some just free flowing MCs. And I love Elzai, you know, but I will never, no Dilla person should ever try to sit here and tell you Dilla was a better MC than Elzai. I'm sure Dilla would tell you he was the better MC than Elzai. But, you know, because when people shit on Slumville, even before Elzai, was like, yo, but they rappers is whack. I'm like, yo, they dope to me. Like, they're not. Again, it's that I don't know what this is during that whole Heineken and Blunt era where you couldn't just be an MC no more. You had to be a lyrical samurai surgeon. Like, you just couldn't be like a cool MC. Like, people shit on Dave from Daylight. I'm like, what's wrong with Dave? Oh, because he ain't as nice as Pos. Well, who cares if he's not as nice as Pos? Like, Dave is dope. Like
I like
you know what I mean?
I like Dave. I like Dave.
Yeah, like I don't understand that, but we got to this point where if you wasn't a lyrical doing 8 different flows and 10 different pockets, and so now I agree with you. There's no way anybody should ever tell you that Dilla was a better MC than Elzhi. Like never. So now I feel you. That's dope. Bro, who you got up next, man?
My next one is Big Pun. And I can't pinpoint the song. I could just pinpoint a couple of songs, but I just remember hearing him on some mixtapes, and I remember hearing the deep cut. They did the deep cover over again. Him and Fat Joe. Yeah. And when he did the Dead in the Middle, the Little Italy, little did he know that he riddled some middleman who didn't do that. I was like, what the like, I'm like, is he serious? Like that shit, that was just crazy. I said, who was doing that? You know what I'm saying? And then his stuff with the Beatnuts and like and I always been a fan of them. I want to give them a shout out. They're one of the most underrated groups ever to me. But yeah, when I heard Pun, like how he was spitting, I was just like, yo, this dude, like he totally like outshine Fat Joe on that song so bad. Like it was just like I just wanted to hear Pun on that joint. And then when Capital Punishment came out, like I mean, he went toe to toe with Black Thought on that joint. When You Ain't a Killer. I mean, Dream Shatterer. I mean, he just man, the joint with Prodigy and that, like I say, this dude is crazy. So I remember hearing the first time I heard him was on a mixtape. I can't remember what song, but when I heard that deep cover joint, I was like, this dude is gonna be a legend. That's what I thought when I first heard it. So my next person was Pun.
That's dope. Brad, who you got up, man?
It's ironic Rel says Pun, man, because 91, I'm in the Bronx for the summer, and I hear No Equal for the first time on a G-Bo the Pro mixtape.
No Equal.
And if you know about the G-Bo the Pro mixtape and Double Ray, they cutting double back and they're doing 4-track mixtapes in 91, 92. So it's a lot going on. And to hear that, and I had never heard I didn't know who the fuck the Beatnuts was. I didn't find out who they were for like 6 more months. But I knew I liked what I heard. The Beatnuts, man. Those guys are unsung in my opinion. And when I heard that No Equal, they gained a fan for life. I don't know how else more to put it. Beats, rhymes, what more could you want at that time in hip hop? You know what I think it is, right? I think one of the things is about the Nuts is what I just said. They came at a time when everything had to be super lyrical. Yeah. And they're just not super lyrical. They're not super lyrical. They're average MCs, which to me should be fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the hip hop I grew up on, you had your Kanes, your G-Rap, and your Rakims. But they didn't look down on the Kid and Plays and the Kwame's and the Daylight. Like, we all just did hip hop. We all just loved it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm nicer than you. It was all love. And then somehow in the 90s, we got to this place of, if you ain't super lyrical, then you ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you ain't killing in the cypher, then you ain't a real MC. And the Beatnuts ain't killing in no cypher. You know, T3 and By 10 ain't killing in no cypher. But it's a place for everybody. So I really hate the part of the game that went down that road because I mean, they call me D Nice. D Nice wasn't no lyrical dude, but they call me D Nice was the shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you front on that?
But you know what, Kill? I was gonna say that something that goes back to the conversation we're having on Clubhouse. I can't remember the name of the engineer who was speaking on basically about artists being produced.
Oh, you're talking about my man Rich?
Yes. Yeah. So it goes to like not every song calls for a lyrical miracle performance. Correct. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just gotta ride the beat. Sometimes you gotta know, what the vibe of the song was, like production and all that. And this is one of the things that kind of kills me when you got fans talk about, oh, such and such got killed on this track, but the track didn't call for a super lyrical performance. You know what I mean? They were complimenting each other. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you just got to make a good song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
That gets lost in the art though, because like you were saying earlier, people want you to just be lyrical miracle or whatever, but a good song is a good song, regardless if it's lyrical miracle or it just sounds good sonically. People forget that.
Word.
All right, no doubt. Rel, what you got up next?
Oh, it's on me. It's on me.
Yeah, I done messed up. I was trying to get the back in.
Okay,
I totally
that's cool.
Mixed up everybody. Is it Rack or?
It's Ed. It's Ed.
It was really cool. It was Ed.
My bad. Let me move you back over. All right.
All
right. Who you got, Ev?
Well, my next one is it's a group that didn't do more than just one album, but when they came with the single, I was all about it. And it's Trends of Culture, where they did
I
love that song.
So
Valley of the Skins, yes sir.
Yeah, man, that single was banging. The album was dope too. So, but I don't know what happened, whatever they went through, they never did another record after that. At least I don't know if they never did another record after that. But during that time period, they were one that like really hit a chord with me, and I was all about Trends of Culture. I was like, yo, and just the way they were spitting, it wasn't necessarily dials.
Yeah,
because they wasn't doing that, but it was like something in between. It was,
one of them dudes reminded me of Pharaoh. One of them dudes,
exactly.
Like when he
first kind of sound like Pharaoh a little bit. Yeah, true.
Yeah. And it's funny because I always looked at like, damn, why didn't they blow? But Organized, well, I guess Organized didn't blow, but of course more people knew Organized than Trends of Culture. But to me, they both were dope. But to me, that's that. It was so much dope stuff in the 90s that so much stuff just got lost in the sauce. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Blase. That Danger. Everywhere.
Listen,
oh man.
Summer 95?
Oh my
God. When they came with the remix, they had the remix with Trigger and Smooth. Then you had the Primo remix, but like, they just so that's the hard part. It was hard back in the 90s.
We talked about that online about like back then it was so many like 4 mic, 3.5 mic groups that were dope that just got overshadowed. We talked about the Cellar Dwellers, the Boogie Monsters, Hard to Obtain.
L.I. Groove.
That was
even like
you know what I'm saying?
Even like Lords of the Underground.
Lords kind of blew a little bit more because at least Lords had 2 albums, but
they had Rocker and that kind of blew
but,
up.
like you said, it was just so much dope stuff. It was really hard to cut through, everything like that. But all those groups was dope, man.
Hold on, Kill.
What's up, bro?
Yes, the Rebel on another level.
Bruh. Yo,
man.
And everybody had energy back then too.
Man.
You know what I mean? But that's what I mean by like something was shifting, because think of all the MCs we're naming, none of them were lyrical. This is what I'm talking about. Once you got to that point, because it was like, yo, that's dope, but is he as dope as Nas? Oh yeah, that's dope, but can he spit better than da-da-da? Like, that's where we were getting to with hip hop, where you couldn't just sit back and enjoy the Cellar Dwellers talking about, some weirdo mystic shit. That would have been fine in the late 80s. That would have been fine. But by the time that they came in, it was like, if you aren't super duper lyrical, you know what I mean? It's a wrap for you, and it's fucked up because, like you said, a lot of groups didn't get they shine like that. Rec, who you got?
Let me see. I got one. Now, this ain't the first time I heard them, but this is the first time I paid attention, like how Briz was saying. Master Ace's solo.
Oh, take a look around, me in the biz.
Yeah, I knew who he was, but when I heard that's when I paid attention. I didn't make the correlation until later on, but that's when I paid attention. That album for me, I remember where I was. I remember what I was doing. I was in the 7th grade, and my homeboy brought the tape in, and I was just like, okay, bet. Put it on, over. And then when I saw the video, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Very dope album. So many people haven't heard, man. 89, all produced by Marley Marl, except like 1 or 2. man, me and the biz is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
And I still got Bing Gang.
Yeah.
Still got Bing Gang.
Yeah, no, I love that album. I'm a Master Ace fan. You know, I just don't think he gets talked about, with the exception of his stuff on the symphony. I don't think people look at his catalog thoroughly enough, to be honest.
Yeah, his longevity is stupid too.
It's crazy because he's still putting out work, and he's still touring. He's doing stuff with my man out of Brooklyn. So
he's one of those few MCs who kind of found the pocket and is just able to live there. It's like you just able to just fly under the radar enough so that people still know you and people still checking for you, and everything like that. Riz, what's good?
Hold on, think about how versatile he was though. Like somebody had mentioned it on Twitter, like. You had Jeep ass nigga that was straight East Coast.
Yep.
Took the same lyrics and made it a West Coast song.
Made it a West Coast album.
That's Incorporated. Like
That's Ace Incorporated blew my mind.
Yo, that album was very slept on.
That Live from New York is Saturday night.
Yeah, with the clear vinyl. With the clear vinyl.
That video make you want to fight. That video.
Right. Yeah. New York is Saturday night. That shit was crazy.
I still have my copies.
Who you got up next, Briz?
I got the Fugees, 94, Nappy Heads, the remix. I mean, just from Mona Lisa, it had me. And then to see like an MC and then see a female MC, like just sound different from everybody else, it resonated with me. And then that summer they was on every mixtape. I think they was still on, like, Rel, you was talking about Pun. They was on those same mixtapes with Pun. Remember, back then everybody would just pick a beat and just start rapping. Matter of fact, they was on a couple records with Pun when Lauren was talking about, I'm not Japanese, but I'm not Haitian, but I eat so suave. Mama say, mama say. Like that summer, they showed a total different. Like they could hang with the hardest of MCs and Wyclef and everything like that. So Fugees and then from there, the score just took it over for me. I was like, oh, that's it. They hot.
Yeah. That's dope. The next person I got up, and I forgot to say this in the beginning. I'm naming all people from 90s and up, because in the 80s, I loved everybody. Like in the 80s, it was just love at first sight with everybody. I could just EPMD, Eric B. and Rakim, Big Daddy Kane. The first time I heard everybody in the 80s, Houdini, Run DMC, like, so that's why I was like, just bypass the 80s for me, and I'm gonna just start up. Here's an album that I love. Nobody else loved this album but me and Dr. Dre. Oh, okay. I did. Okay, Ralph loved it. Okay, I'm taking bids. Like, can I get two more? But yeah, this is. I'm the only person who loves Compton. But yo, this introduced me to Anderson .Paak.
Yes,
and I'll never forget that people were like, "Yo, this Compton is whack." You know, Dre always introducing us. Where's Snoop? Where's the next DOC? I was like, "Nigga, Anderson .Paak is the next." Thing. Like he's the rapper, he's the singer. Like every song that Paak is on, he just owned it on this album. Like he literally just owned every single song, and it was just like it made me start going digging for Anderson .Paak. I mean, because I don't know what Paak is, because he does everything great. Is he a singer? Is he a rapper? I don't know, because he does both equally as dope as the other one. What you say?
He's a true definition of an artist, like a real artist. Like he's that dope.
Like I can sit here and say I think Fonte is a better rapper than he is a singer. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody may disagree, but I enjoy him as a rapper. I say he can't sing, but I don't think they're equal. With Paak, I think he's equal across the board. Like it could go either which way with Paak. So that's it for me. Another book, since I had to go through all these books, I got all these giant encyclopedias. This is another dope book. If you're a digger, Dustin Grooves. You can see it's nice and
that's a big book.
Yeah, nice and meaty in here, and it's just records, like just records, and going through everybody's record collection. Quest is in here, and the cover just got me. You could sit up in between all your crates, like so. Dustin Grooves again. What other podcasts out there giving y'all books to read too? Just think about that. Porsche, what you got up next, baby?
I'm gonna go with Boyz II Men, and you guys know I'm like a sucker for like these
And
ballads.
when you
I
first
know,
heard
right? And I wasn't in love with anyone, but I fell in love with Boyz II Men when I heard End of the Road. And I know that's the one we always slander because, or not slander, I should say.
No, we slander.
Is that the one where he's like saying,
Yeah,
I don't care if you cheated on me?
Yeah, I saw you tell the fella.
that one.
We gonna slander that.
Yeah, he's like, it's okay, girl. You cheated. It's okay. Just come back home, girl. I know you still got.
I remember when I heard that, it was one of those things where people were like calling each other, like, "Did you hear this? Did you hear this?" And it was like I heard it, and I was like, "Who are these angels? Like, where did we find like?"
Bless your heart.
And then this has come out of like, where in heaven are they? Like, anyways, I love Boyz II Men literally from like the very first note that I heard come out of their mouths. Like, it was just, that was truly like a love at first sight for me. And I never stopped loving them, ever. Like, they're always my number one. Every song, I love all the sappy songs that everybody always makes fun of. Like, I love Color of Love. I love, like, More Than You Know. I love Force.
Oh, bless your heart, Portia. Bless you.
They are just, they cannot do any wrong. I love them. So, End of the Road. And I thank God for that song, because, man.
All right, no doubt. JR, who you got up next, man?
All right, of course, it would be Mary. Of course, when I first heard her, of course, she was the balance. You know what I'm saying? In my household, it was R&B and hip hop, so it was a balance. So when I heard You Remind Me, I was just like, whoa. When I see my dad rocking to it and I see my mom rocking to it, of course, it shows some interest to me, because I'm like, finally, these two are on the same accord for once.
Right.
So it was, all right, cool. And then when I'm hearing her, and then once Real Love came out, it was done. I was done. I was like, I'm a fan. She's my favorite. I don't care. It's done. So
baseball jersey and boots.
Right.
Yeah, tell me this, man. Which one is doper? The OG or the remix album?
Ooh, the remix was banging, man. The remix was banging.
Why are you gonna do that? It's not right.
I'm just saying. Me and T was talking about it the other day, and I'm like, I prefer the slow jams off of this, the OG slow jams, but I prefer all the remixes of the up-tempo joints off of this.
I get slack for this, but it's definitely gonna be the remix, to be honest with you. It's the remix for me, because I mean, Quiet as It's Kept. Like I said, I get killed for this, but What's the 4-1 ain't even in my top 5 Mary.
Okay.
So what the remix does it. So yeah.
All right, no doubt. Vern, who you got up next? You on mute, bro?
My bad. I love YouTube when they say you might also like, because there's been many times that I've been down rabbit holes, and I'm gonna say the person that I found out from her by last, but Alex Isley, man.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
man,
yo, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah.
Hey man, love art memoirs, dreams and analog. I mean, bro, when I go in home deep, and I just, man, everything she does, her voice is so soothing, man. She did background vocals on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah. This is the shorty you told me about before, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Yeah, Ernie Isley, Alex Isley.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Her joint La Brea, her album Luxury, Feel No Love, The Beauty of Everything. But then, man, everything she putting out is just killing. But brother, stuff with her and Jack dying, bro, I'm telling you. She got some joints with Terrace Martin, Tank and the Bangers. Alex Isley is sick, man. I mean, she needs to blow, bro.
Yeah, she's dope.
If it's up to me, she would. I tell everybody that I can talk to about Alex Isley, man. She is crazy.
Yeah. She will buy your covers too, though.
Yeah. Bro, she just did on Instagram. She just did one today. I meant to.
I know you sent me that. You wrong for that too.
Yeah. hey, Vern. Hey, Vern. I don't know if you heard the her. She got a song. No One Like You. It's off the Robert Glasper Experience with Kay Tronada.
Yeah. That's how I found out about it.
That song, yo.
So, Vern, which joint should I start with? The Love War Memories, Love Memories, Analog, or Luxury?
Luxury,
because luxury is polished. Love, Art, Memoirs, and Dreams and Analog with her just in the basement doing things. Because she produces and stuff too, man. So I would go with Luxury. But then, man, check out her collab and anything she did with Jack Dine. You got to listen to that stuff.
Ooh, Lord. All right. No doubt. Hey, who you got up next, man?
My next one is Kendrick Lamar. And the first time I heard him was at Section 80. Whether people call it an album or a mixtape, whatever, to me it wasn't a mixtape, because that was a crafted album. But the first joints I remember hearing that made me be like, I need to listen to that was Rigor Mortis and High Power, and Kendrick was killing them joints. And then hearing that album and the way it was crafted with like the different chapters and kind of telling the story, even having Ab-Soul do his little interlude in there, like I was like, man, this kid is special, and it even had a bigger effect also because at the time I was in LA, I was on the West Coast, so I think it hit different for me because of that. But that's pretty much it.
All right, no doubt. Ev, what you got up next, man?
All right. When Kill told me about the show, I thought it was all hip hop. But then I realized that it's not all hip hop. So I'm gonna throw this one out there, and I actually have to bounce, but I gotta throw this out there before I do it. Fela Kuti.
Hey.
When I first heard Fela, it changed my life.
Changed your life, didn't it?
It changed my life, right? Yo, I was at Fluid. It was a club in Philly called Fluid. I was down there, and Rich Medina was spinning. And he played this joint, and when I was like, yo, what was that? He was like, I'll make you a tape, but don't send it to nobody. And I was like, all right. And he made this tape with all Fela joints, and them joints was off the chain. So Fela Kuti, man, I just went on a whole then of course I had to go digging for more stuff. And then you get deep in that rabbit hole when it go to Fela. So I threw that one out there, Fela Kuti.
Man. What's the best joint to get started with?
I'll send you straight to the if you want to just rip some shit up.
Water Got No Enemy. How about that?
Water Get No Enemy. And then after that, put on Zombie. And then after that, call the fire department, because 9 times out of 10, you done burn some shit down.
Yeah, straight up. Water Get No Enemy, when you hear it, if you're ahead, you'll know what it is. You've heard it before. You just don't know you heard it before.
Exactly.
Same with Zombie. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, kiddo. Don't play it on your way to work because you're gonna get a ticket.
You're gonna get a ticket for sure, and you're gonna be in the car like this, throwing bottles out the window like you're driving.
All right, what else you got? Because I know you said you got to bounce. You got anything else?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, this another one, man. This cat, he's still out there. He's still doing his thing. But when I first heard him, I heard a single, and the single didn't kind of do the thing. Then I heard this track is Outkast, and it was Nature the Threat. Nice. And when I first heard Nature the Threat, I thought this dude was like the dude. Like I thought was like, yo, that's it. This cat right here, his pen game is ridiculous. I ain't never heard no shit like that before in my life. Of course, the album came out, wasn't as dope. Had to deal with that part, but that single, man, was crazy. And then my last one was Camp Love. Camp Low they stayed kind of even killed, but when I first heard, I can't even think of the single.
Familiar with that Jada Jackson. Man.
When I first heard the Camp Low joint, that was
seen that video.
The B-side they did with Butterfly from Digaboo. Mm-hmm. That the remix joint, that shit was crazy too. So those are my last few joints.
Bruh, good looking out for making some time,
Thank
bro.
y'all for having me.
Back
So
in.
good.
It's good to see you,
Thank y'all
Ed.
for having me. I will be back, man. I definitely miss y'all, man. Miss the conversations and everything like that. Yeah, man. I'll be back. I'll try to get back on here next week.
Hold on,
And, yeah, man. Oh, last thing, Brother Brez. I'm looking for the book. Is it better to go to your website to get the book, or is it better to go to Amazon?
You could go. At this point, I would say just go to my website, airhustlermedia.com.
Yeah. Mine's in the mail. Waiting on mine.
What I'm doing is, with the whole pandemic and then now with like this weather, the printer kind of delayed a lot of stuff. So I was having them all come to me first so I can sign the first 50.
Yo,
that's dope.
You know what? And you signing too? Yeah, I'll wait. Ain't no rush.
Yeah.
Hey,
Take your time.
Hey, sure.
Hey, Ev.
Yes, sir.
I hate that you must go.
Be glad you wasn't Be glad you wasn't on the episode when we was doing the Dungeon Family, because Vern was just pulling everybody out his fucking closet. This nigga was pulling out pit bulls and everything. I swore he had 3,000 about to come out of his closet playing a goddamn flute and a jumper. So.
No, I know that's your favorite Tribe song, so I had to let
that's another conversation. Oh, yo, and I thought out there, yo.
Everybody out there, Ev hates the last Tribe album. I love it. So just
I agree, Ed.
I agree. Like, yo, you still listen to that shit, nigga? And then that's it. He'll just call me and hang up.
I'm gonna call him tomorrow and just say just that. I think it's right. But I'm gonna leave it still that, yo, man. Just put out a and we'll send a link and everything. But me and my wife, she works more in the dance world. We just did a piece on the journey of MCs, and it's called Profit. Learn Me, Let Me, Fed Me. It's a little bit of an artsy-fartsy kind of film right now. It's on Instagram on Jacob's Pillow. They're an organization that kind of just helped us, funded us a little bit. They tried to make it sound like they did all of it, but whatever. They funded us a little bit to get it going, so just the first rendition of it. But I'll send the links for everybody, man. Check it out when you get a chance. Just trying to shed some more light on what we do as a culture. And a lot of times what we're doing, people want to put on the umbrella and kind of forget about it and forget like these are true art forms. And it takes a lot of time and energy for us to perfect what we're doing. So from MCs to DJing to graph artists to breakers, I feel like all of these things need more attention and more focus as an art form, not just as like something that's like subculture kind of a thing.
But talk about the whole Prophet's Tale. Everything from the stage to the book to everything that you got going on.
I don't want to take up too much time, man.
Take up all the time you want, man.
Well, A Prophet's Tale is basically it started as a stage. It started as I just was going to do like a music project, and I have been working in the dance industry doing sound and sound design and composition for like the last 10 years. So my wife was like, "Yo, we should do a piece." So what we did was the whole idea is like being able to know an MC when you see an MC. What is it about an MC? What is it? Is it the way they move? Is it the way they think? Like just taking some of these concepts and some of these ideas and these theories. And for me, this film actually was pulling some of my influences. I came up in a church, so I saw the preacher in the pulpit, and I wanted that same kind of like attention when I was on stage or in a cypher doing whatever I was doing. So, it talks about our influences, it talks about our regions, because being an MC in Philly and being an MC in LA is going to be two different things, but of the same coin. You still have the same influence, you're still working against the same systems that are trying to keep you from doing what you're doing. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of MCs out there, there's certain MCs that I would, I'll put them on the same line as like a roomie, or, so they have like prophetic kind of like ideas that I think just need more. Like when Rakim does Rakim, there's no one else that can do that. There's no one else that can stand next to that. So while we need to look at our artists in that same way. We need to look at them and kind of like big them up, because we can't wait for the world to do it, because they're not going to do it. They're just going to use what they want to use and then throw it back. But at the end of the day, these cats are just as important as a Michelangelo or Leonardo, all of that. So I just wanted to shed some more light on that, man. I did a show with Umar bin Yosef bin Hassan from the Last Poets back in the day, and he was the one that kind of helped spark that fire. Like, yo, man, y'all writers, you're a writer, so your pen is strong. So when you're going to use that pen, use it for everything you need to do it for. But know that unfortunately, just as we talk about the Last Poets, they didn't get their shine the way they should. So this is for me was a personal project. I was pulling on MCs that I knew personally and influences that influenced me during like mainly the 90s to put together this work. So it's still a work in progress. It's still a growing, developing kind of thing. But I'd love for y'all, specifically y'all, to really check it out, man, because it's for me. I want to know what the heads feel like. I can see what the dance world feels like, and that's cool. But I really want to know what the heads feel like when they see something like this. So that's where I've been doing that, man, and of course just dealing with pandemic shit like everybody else. But yo, man, much love, man. Indeed, I will be back. I miss y'all. I miss the conversations. I ain't get to act the fool yet, but see, Vern gonna get me going. But I'll be back.
It's so
All right, good brother.
Good to see you, man.
Always a pleasure.
Riz, what's going on, man? What's your next love at first sight? I didn't get the Rel. My fault, Rel, because I had to move.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rel, what you got?
So this, I don't know how many people in here mess with this group, but when I first heard them, they made an impact, and that's the Clips. And Pusha is one of my favorite right now, but the Clips that first, because like it was a thing. Like a lot of my friends didn't like them. They said they couldn't rap because they were so enamored by the beat. You got to remember the grinding beat was so like, you know what I'm saying? The grind. That's
God damn, man. You may need to pick new friends. We could be your new friends, bro. If they didn't like, I'm a legend of 2 games like Pee Wee Kirkland.
Yeah, listen, kid. That's what I'm saying. They ain't my friends now. This is back in.
Because I apartment 5B, brother. If you need a home, you got a good home right here with us.
I'll argue over that. But what I was, my argument to them, I'm like, yo, are you listening to what they saying? Because where we're from, Kill, when crack hit Philly, you know what I'm saying? It was like I had family members and friends and people I grew up with affected by it and participating in it and selling it. The way they were so vivid with how they was talking about it. I don't know if they really did it, but the way they were talking about it, like some of the terminology and the things they were saying, it was just like, I was like, man, these dudes is crazy. And they how the intro start off on Lord Willing, playing We Ain't the Same, I'm in the cane and guns. Like, come on, man. Yo, them dudes, man. And it's showing now that everybody's like, yo, Pusha's so nice. Pusha been nice.
Pusha been nice for the past 20 damn years, man.
Been nice, yo.
Man, Pusha, that's what I was gonna say, Rack. That's the first time I heard him was on the funeral. And from the funeral, I was like, yo, what is this?
Yeah.
So, and you ain't never gotta come up in this room talking about we like the Clips. I ain't know what you was gonna say. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. I don't like the but I like the Clips.
The Pharrell production just took it over the top. You know what I'm saying? But they been nice. They was, you know what I'm saying? And the Re-Up Gang mixtapes and
Ab Live. The funny thing about that Clips, about that grinding beat, they said that Pharrell was in a hotel and pushing them was like, yo, your beats is weak. Like your beats ain't hard enough. And then he made grinding. He's like, y'all don't write some of this in the next 10 minutes. I'm giving this shit to Jay-Z. I'm giving it to such and such. And, because I give it to Pharrell. When it's time to go in the Clips bag, he go in his bag. Like, it's a totally different bag than his Justin Timberlake bag or this other bag over here.
That wham what it do beat with the conga. I said, yo, this dude that really went his bag for this. So that's the Clips, man. I really fuck with them heavy.
No doubt. Briz, what you got next?
So Outkast. I think I was in the 9th grade or 10th grade, and when I heard Outkast, me growing up, originally born in New York but growing up in Florida, finally identifying and like somebody was saying, bridging that gap, like how JR was saying with Mary, hearing a group that He was coming with something totally original with that Southern slang that I had grown accustomed to, but still being able to articulate something over some crazy beats like Southern Playalistic Cadillac changed it for me. So that actually catapulted me, and I think a lot of people in Miami, just into music and into hip hop, like knowing that, you know what, this is gonna be my life. So Outkast did it for me, and then ATLiens. I lived in Atlanta. Stayed a brief stay in Atlanta '96 for the Olympics, and ATLiens had just dropped as soon as I came back home, and the first thing I heard was, you know, me and my nigga wrote the Martyr Through the Hood, and I was like, yo, I just did that. You know what? This is it for me. When boy said he came into this world high as a bird from secondhand cocaine powder, that was it for me. So Cass is it for life.
Yo, it's something about Cast and being in Atlanta.
Yeah,
man. Like I said, when I moved down there, like, you know, I've been saying the rhymes all the time, and I ain't never know what the package store was. Then I moved down there, and I'm like, oh shit, that's the package store. Like, okay, that would make sense. So, yeah, Cast is like. The next person I got up is the Broad Street Bully, Beanie Sigel. First time I heard Beans was on the Belly soundtrack on the joint. I just had that joint pulled up too. I forgot the name.
Was he on Crew Love?
Crew Love. When I heard, yo, I set up shop with Nick Rocks at Upset Rookies. They can slide like little dicks and wet pussy. Open up the whole strip like Monopoly and get one of y'all
to land on my property.
Think you getting dough from my community shots? Blah, blah. Two to the chest. Y'all niggas can't pass no go.
It's the cost to pass.
Y'all niggas keep like both ass. Hey, y'all bail. Like, yo, I was sitting here like, yo, who is this? Like, yo, and then when that nigga said, and then when he went into that whole style, I'm trying to get down for that motherfucking boardwalk money. 2 brick money, new blue 6 money, Peru trip money, flew in 6 money, Taj Mahal chips, orange chips. Yo, I was like, yo, this boy is off the chain. Then the next time I heard him was on Things Fall Apart with Adrenaline, which was crazy too.
Killed that.
Did I even pull that up? I ain't even pull it up, but like the Adrenaline was just stupid to me, man. Like I was just like, yo, this dude is a damn fool for this right here. Hold up, here it is real quick. Where the nigga came in with, they used to talk shit, but I'ma quiet them. Kicking the door on my boys, get the riot in them. First nigga that flinched, I'ma fire them. Tape him up, grip his hands and plier in them. Like just the just that whole style of just saying just the whole rhyme and not getting tired of it. Like, yo, how does this dude keep ran up in your spot with robbing them? I'm robbing them. Grew up 2-4 with plows in them. Do my dirt 21st with calling them. Nigga pop little marking them. Brother new nigga school markly parking them. Like, I was just like, yo, this dude got his own style.
Didn't question them.
Crazy. What happened?
Didn't question them say he was like going for like 10 minutes and they had to like
they said he was going for like all day. And again, like I always say about the Roots, Malik B was the heart of the Roots, was the hood of the Roots. Malik is the who brought Beans through the crib. You know what I mean? Through Quest crib and everything like that. So yeah, Beans. When I heard Beans, I was like, yo, this nigga's a problem. You know what I mean? And it's just so many bars they're just ignorant bars, but they're just bars that are just dope. Like he said something on the truth, like something like, you know, my come home, my wife, something to bitch, and why don't you change your life? I'm thinking, why don't I change my life? Like, yeah. I was like, yo, did that nigga just say that out loud? Like, yo, this nigga just ignorant bars. But yeah, so I got Beans. Who you got?
So for my last one, I have Blue Raspberry, and I have to mention Blue. Yeah, okay. Exactly. And she has one project, which actually, to be really honest, I've never heard. I don't even know.
I never knew she had something.
She has one, and I think it dropped in 2005. I want to say, but I haven't heard it.
Like 2006, yeah.
Yeah.
Did RZA do it?
Maybe. Sorry.
Did RZA do it?
No.
Yeah, I think Silver Rings did it.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just kidding.
Everybody got the press like, oh, well.
Yeah. Anyways, I heard her on Relecio Delph off of Tikal for the first time, and I was just dumbfounded at the strength in her voice because she has such a presence on that track. And I don't know if she did anything prior to that. I know she was on an unreleased, I know there's an unreleased track that I've read that she was on with like KRS and Big and some other like rappers, whatever. But that was, I didn't hear that one. Relecio Delph was the time I heard her and I was like she took over. She literally took over and I was like, how can Method Man follow that up? Like, I know they're two different things. Like, he's a rapper, she's a singer, but she just has commanded so much presence on that track. I absolutely loved it. I think if she was not the vocal on there, I don't know that track would be as good as it is. And I think, and I heard her actually live when I was in DC some years back, and she is phenomenal. Like, she has so much power in her voice. She is just brilliant and amazing, and I wish she would put out way more music and not link up with Silver Bells or whatever his name is. But,
so JR, did you hear the album?
Did I hear Out of the Blue? Yes.
Yeah. Was it good?
It's good. It's good. She's dope. Like, that's what I'm saying. Portia is like really saying, because the power in her voice is ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous.
She's
that's like, the shorty who's singing on Rainy Days, right? On Cuban Link?
Yes. And she's
yeah.
Right? And she's on all, like, she is like the go-to vocals for all of the Wu members. And she literally brings everything every single time. She cannot miss. Like, she is just so good. So for me, I absolutely love her. I wish she had more in her discography, but I've seen her live, and that very first time on Relecio Delph was just enough to know that she is a powerhouse for vocals.
I'm mad RZA had her singing off key on Glaciers Ice though in the background.
I mean, RZA raps off key, so maybe to him.
It makes sense.
I love the RZA. Don't get me wrong, I love him, but I can see that he would be like, no, that's on key, and everyone else is like.
That's that engineer Briz look pissed. Like, see, that's that shit. Like, can I fix this? Like, no, okay.
Right. Yo, going back to Beans, even though I remember working with Beans, it was probably the longest session I had ever had. It was like 48 hours, and I remember I felt like it was like 48 hours straight in the studio. And I remember feeling like this was like one of my favorite rappers, so of course, like the energy was there, and there was parts in there where I just wanted to kind of like nudge some vocals a little bit to get it more on beat and on time. And he was just like, after I did it, everybody was in the room just listening, and he was like, kind of just, I don't understand why we moved. And it was just that second that when he said it, and the confidence that he didn't care what everybody else thought was on beat or off beat. Like, he just, so I put it back, of course.
Right.
And then listening back to like the album and hearing the track on the album, I was like, maybe that was just the 48 hours.
You remember what song it was? You remember what song it was?
It was oh man, I want to say it was. I'll tell you right now. I think it. There was a record. I think it was The Bridge. I think it was called The Bridge. It was on his last album.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was. I think his last album with Rockefeller.
Okay.
But yeah, I just remember feeling like, it was crazy because it sounded so clear to me that it was off, but then he heard it so clear that it was on, and then by the time it got to mix and master, it was on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, at a certain point, do your ears just go nuts? Like, after you talk about 48 hours, nigga, like,
they do.
I'll be in this studio after 4 hours. I'm like, all right, when we taking a break? When we gonna get some Applebee's? So 48 hours, dog, I'll be seeing shit different, and like,
after a while, your ears are dead, and everything is just based on instinct. You're looking at levels. You're like, just using all your other consensus to kind of figure things out, and you're just saying to yourself, this is going to be sounding like trash in the morning, so I have to come back in and fix it, but we're just going to get it done tonight.
Damn.
Right.
Damn.
Because I heard about Dre in his sessions that they used to be having marathons in there, like to see who could stay in the studio the longest, 3 days, 4 days. And I'm like, that just don't sound fun to me. And I love making beats, but
Hey, man, I take my hat off to producers and engineers because
Yes.
I was in a group at one point and my boys producing. I say my rhyme and I'm done, but they have to do all the stuff. So I recently just did something at home myself. Had to stack some vocals and stuff. Man, it took me days to put stuff together. I was like, hey man, I take my hat off to y'all.
Y'all definitely a special breed, man. Y'all definitely a special breed.
Yeah. But that's the beautiful part of the game, and being a team is just understanding everybody has their skill set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The MC has your skill set, the producer has their skill set, the engineer has their skill set. To me, it's just everybody respecting each other's skill set and not, trying to, make your point guard score 50 points a game. It's like, nigga, just do your job. Your job is to get everybody else involved. And if, to me, that's why the Spurs were such a great franchise for so long, because they got the right pieces, everybody played their position, and they won. You know what I mean? But it's when the producer want to be the MC, and then what MOP say, rappers want to be actors want to be like, everybody want to do the other person's job, and it's like, nah, B, if to me, that's the good part. Like you said, you being Cool and Dre's head engineer, there's a trust there. And like, that's just what it is. That's like the key thing. Like, it's like, when you link with an engineer, that's why all these producers kept one engineer. You ain't see Primo going to 5 different people. You rock with some people in the beginning, and then you just, Eddie Sancho, I don't think started mixing for Premier until Daily Operation. You know what I mean? So they did 2 albums without him, but then when they got D&D, and Eddie Sancho put Primo on to the MPC 60, and then it was just from there on. So, JR, who's your last person, good brother?
I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say an album that when I heard, it was like it's a rap. When I heard What's Going On from Marvin Gaye, I was like, this dude is something else. And I heard it on an 8-track first. So
bro, what's so amazing is that you can remember hearing stuff at 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I was actually 4 when I heard What's Going On. And I'll never forget that. I was just sitting there and I got mad when it finished and my mom had to put it back in for me to listen, because I was like, it was something different. I was like, it connected me some way. I don't know why. To this day, I'm like, I will ask her. She was like, I don't know. You just,
bro, you were alien, bro. Because I can't remember what the hell I was doing that for, let alone hearing the album. Like, literally, you're an alien, big.
And it was like when I heard Save the Children. Maybe that's why. And me being a kid and me hearing that song, it was just like, yo, this is something different. And that's why that album and Marvin Gaye is one of my favorite artists, and why What's Going On is my second favorite album of all time. Like, I would never forget that day when I heard that on 8-track. Never forget. So that album really kind of changed my life and how I listen to music because of that. So
when all this COVID stuff is over, bro, you gotta come down, because I got that whole album on Pro Tools. So
I know. You told me. I gotta listen to that.
Damn, man. Yeah, sick, man.
Yeah. Bro, what you got for your last one, good brother?
All right. This is a singer whose favorite producers are Dilla and Madlib. I first heard her when I was listening to the Foreign Exchange. Now, this is the closest. Layla and this chick is the closest I'm gonna come to standing for anybody. Musina, bro. Hey, man.
I know.
I heard her on Daykeeper and House of Cards and Something to Behold on Foreign. I'm like, man, who is this? I go to YouTube and just went down a rabbit hole. Daybreak, Oscillation, Sign, Triangle. She did an EP about 4 or 5 years ago for every month, from January all the way up to August. Collaborations with Foreign Exchange, Zoe packing for Chicago, Odyssey, Eric Lau, Carolyn Malachi. She got a dope joint with James Poyser. Her and Alex Isley, Jake One, Little John Roberts. I'm gonna say that one for last. Okay, everybody's heard God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, Let None of You Dismay. Remember Christ Stage was born on Christmas Day. Her version with Robert Glasper and her vocal arrangement, bro, it's heavenly, man. The way she stacks her vocals and arrangements is heavenly. And then I'm gonna just say she got a song on Little John Roberts' album, The Drummer. When I say Little John, people think.
Yo, I was just about to say I apologize. She has a song with Little John.
No, Little John Roberts is him, Glasper, and her. She doesn't say any words, but she bodies just with ad-libs.
Yeah.
It's stupid, man. Musina, bro. I don't know if she has an official album, but I know everything she's ever done because I keep searching for different things, man. She's so dope, bro.
That's dope. Is that a Georgetown Iverson jersey?
Yes, sir.
God bless you,
Playboy.
God bless you. Yes, sir.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, Playboy.
Hey, hold on. Can I send out some hate for all you hype beast sneaker people? I keep trying to find some Georgetown.
I was gonna ready to say that.
Joints, man, but I ain't paying $400 for no shoes.
What Georgetown? What
you want? The Concords?
Anything.
Because if you're rocking that jersey, you gotta rock the Concords. You gotta rock the Concords.
I might can do something for you, yo.
But the Iverson joints.
I might can do something for you, yo.
Yeah, you can either rock them joints or the only other ones you can rock is the patent leathers that he used to rock that season.
Well,
only way you get away with it.
That's the Concords. The joints Rail got right there in the background.
Yeah.
Black and white.
Yeah, but he looking for the Georgetown. He looking for the Georgetown colorway.
Yeah,
the Georgetown joints, like 85, like 85 Georgetown.
There you go.
Oh, you going back there?
Jackson.
And they only make them right now. You can only catch them in dunks.
David
Okay, I thought you was talking about for rocking the Iverson.
No, I'll take dunks, anything like that. But again, I ain't paying $400 for it. I could, but I'm not.
I
don't blame you. I don't blame you.
All right, Eddie, who you got for your last joint, good brother?
Damn. Well, I'm gonna just go with this one. Like, I'm surprised no one said it. But I'll lead with it like this. I am so glad I never heard Juvenile Hell, because my introduction to Mobb Deep was Shogun Part 2.
Yes.
And yo, that joint like blew my mind. Between that and Survival of the Fittest.
Crazy.
And yo, like
crazy.
I never heard anything like that. I mean, I know we talk about Mobb Deep a lot, to the point where it's kind of like, all right, overdone. But I tell you, man, like, it's just great, between the production and Prodigy, just the way he puts words together. I mean, he was
a bad man back then.
Oh man, for real. It's like, you don't. The funny thing is, like, you don't generally talk about an MC that has the kind of content that Prodigy does as a poet, but he really was poetic with how he put the words together. You know what I mean? And of course, Havoc with the production, just unsung hero there. You know what I mean? So definitely Mobb Deep and the infamous.
Dope. Bro, who you got, man?
All right, I'm gonna give some. It's two. It's real quick because neither one of them really went far like they could have. For different reasons. One is the DOC. When I first heard DOC, I was like, yo, he different. He different. Like that era. You know what type of what we were getting. He just seemed a step above everybody to me. Like he was different. When I heard the Formula, like he snapped on that. Like that. It's right. Yo, he lost his voice in the accident and everything, and that that was tragic. But I really felt like that dude was going to really blow up, man. So one was the DOC, and another one is like a one-off. I didn't hear nothing else from this group, but growing up in Philly, I thought they were from Philly, but they were from Camden, and they had a song called "Kick the Ball."
Crown Rulers.
Listen.
Anything you want.
Anybody, I promise y'all, go on YouTube, type in the Crown Rulers Kick the Ball, and listen to how he was flowing on it. Like he was flowing, like he killed that, and it's like nonstop. Like,
and you talking about this is '89.
I was gonna say, what year was that? Kill
This is like '89.
Yeah,
and here's the thing: he's the original Grand Poobah.
Grand Poobah, yep.
Grand Poobah Maxwell. Yeah. Grand Poobah. For Roots fans out there, Black Thought is called the Silent Treatment Black Thought You and Yours remix, where they use the beat from Kick the Ball.
Yeah.
So for the Roots fans out there, that's what look. Put that into YouTube. Roots Silent Treatment Black Thought You and Yours remix, and that's the beat. But yeah, Kick the Ball is crazy, bro.
So when we first heard it, I thought they was from Philly. They was like, no, they from
but you know what? So many of them Jersey groups we thought was from Philly, YZ. You know what I mean? Because they used to get so much love on Power 99. So
yeah.
No, we playing it, yeah.
And this
Kick the Ball is crazy.
89.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Took me back to the crib.
Right. Who you got for your last joint?
I go with one. So against my better judgment, I'm gonna go with Currency.
Okay.
Covert,
why you say against your better judgment?
Sentimental reasons.
Okay.
And it's not that one trumps the other, but one has a longer lasting effect than the other because there's family involved. So Eddie knows my brother. He's spoken to him. He knows what he does, and he kind of knows a little bit of the situation. So when he and I linked back up because of some family issues that had us separated, we didn't know that, you know, there's a 13-year, 14-year difference in between us. And I didn't know he was into music. Like, I hadn't talked to him since 93. He was 2-3 years old. He was a kid. So I linked back up with him in 2014. And come to find out, we both are producers. We both into music. He's the reason why I use Ableton. I show up with an MPC 2000 XL. He's like, man, get up out of here with this analog. Let me show you this Ableton, right? Long story short, as we're riding to the store to go get something to drink, I put in Currency, Covert Coup. And that was the only joint that I had been banging. And now you figure that was a few years back.
Yo, bro,
right?
that's 5 mics.
I love Covert all day. All day. But here's the craziest thing. Yo, he opened my eyes to a whole new currency I didn't even know existed. He gave me that New Jack City, and I was like, yo, hold up, what is this? And then he puts on Mary. I'm not going to tell you the sample. I ain't going to snitch. Just go dig out the songs. Bro, I've been a currency nut since 2014. I probably have every mixtape on one of these external drives in here. And we talking probably about 100 mixtapes. Easy. This dude drops a mixtape every 2 months.
You missed just pilot talk.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's just something that when you miss out on time with a family member, ended up being able to bond with my little brother over an artist that we both dug. And it's just like, if I don't know Rel as my brother and me and Rel both love something, you're gonna jump to that. And that's kind of what it's been. So I'm with you, Kill. I cannot wait for this pandemic to be over because we going to a currency show. Now I can't blow, but I'm gonna have some fun.
Right.
I'm gonna have some fun. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. And the other one was Gangstar for reasons we ain't even got to speak of. It's Gangstar. What else can you say?
Yeah, they was different. Yeah. They was different.
No doubt. Briz, who you got for your last joint?
All right, so for my last joint, it's really, I met these two people about a week apart from each other. I was my first year out of engineering school. We were working out of Cool's house, and in comes this kid from Miami named Pitbull. And the Pitbull that everybody sees and got an introduction to is not the Pitbull that we knew. The Pitbull we knew was this kid straight out of Hialeah. That's the Cuban section of Miami. And when I say kid could spit, kid was in there spitting. And when he started making his moves, he became known in the city because he got with at this point a legendary street group named Piccolo, and was just shining. Like he would come on. Khaled had a radio show, and I had a mix show, and every Friday Pitbull would have a new freestyle on some whatever was the current beat and was killing them all. And it wasn't until he got with Little John that then he became Mr. Worldwide.
No, I'm sorry. We not talking about Little John Roberts. We talking about
I'm
confused. Right. Okay. Cool. I'm like, what Little John we talking about? So Little John yelling Little John. Okay.
We talking about yelling Little John, and when I say totally changed, like opened up a whole new world with a kid that came up under like Luther Campbell, came up under Uncle Luke, and on some real Miami City stuff, and turned it into something else that I knew the kid was special. And then the cat I met probably the next week at Cool's house was somebody whose flow was totally different from what everybody else experienced, and that was Rick Ross. Ross was a cat that was straight up backpack rapper, and meeting him when he said he was doing ciphers with Weezy before the wire, like he was literally on the streets freestyling, rapping with dudes on some straight hip hop vibes. And then this was 2000, 2001, and 2006 Hustlin' comes out, and it's like somebody gave him the cheat code because he basically took all the skill that he already had and turned it into something else. But both people, when I originally met them and was working with them on mixtapes and everything like that before actual album deals started coming into the city, the energy was just amazing with both of them. The talent was crazy. So both of those ended up being people that had longevity and are still going to this day. So incredible bonds back then.
I'm just still stuck on why do labels sign these because you keep hearing these stories. We was in the clubhouse and Shauna was talking about how Meg Thee Stallion like got bars. And it's like, you're always hearing about these MCs who you look at and you like, oh, they whack as hell. It's like, nah, but you got to hear they old stuff. Like, why do you? It's almost like the NBA. Like, why would you sign a shooting guard and try to make him a point guard? Just sign a point guard. Like, so why would you sign this dude like Cassidy, who's a battle rapper, and then make him make songs like Hotel and Gets No Better? Like, why? Why would you do that? Like,
the way I see it, when you get these, like most of the times, a lot of the love affair that happens between a label and the artist happens like in the studio or something like that, and it'll be like an A&R in there, and the artist will be in there rapping their ass off for hours and hours on end, and that's what the A&Rs fall in love with. But when the budget comes into play and they need that radio record, then it becomes, they get you with that producer that's going to give you something that is going to, play over a broad spectrum.
Right.
So, and basically you had artists came up understanding and learning that you had to dumb it down. You know what I mean? Think about like Biggie and Juicy. You know what I mean? Like, there was no way in the world that we would know who Biggie is on the level that we knew him if it wasn't for the label feeling like they could put money behind those records. And Kill, you work radio, man. You know how it is, man.
Yeah.
Like, when we knew T-Pain in Tallahassee, that wasn't the T-Pain that T-Pain was a spitter. Like, he was coming.
This shit is like blowing my mind. Like, that you told me Pitbull and T-Pain are now spitters. I'm like totally dumbfounded. Like, this just keeps the party going. And like, yo, why don't we sign whack rappers to be whack rappers? Why are we signing dope rappers? Like, I don't
crazy.
Because all you do is get the dope rappers mad at the label because they made you into a whack rapper, and you like, but that wasn't me, and I don't know. Like, I was already blown with Meg because I'm like, really, Meg got bars, and everybody like, yo, Kill, Meg had bars, and I'm like, now you telling me you have literally blown my mind. You're now like Pitbull and T-Pain have bars, and I'm just like,
Yo, and the
Holding
Pitbull
their
thing,
own.
I can
Holding their own.
the Pitbull thing I can attest to, because if you on the first Khaled joint on the song "Born and Raised," like if you listen to his verse on there, yo, he was spitting, like he wasn't on that other shit, like he was really that song "Born and Raised," like he was spitting, and so I can I could see him being able to spit, and then they just changing them, because when we first heard Cassidy's singles, we was like, what the.
Brother,
You
trust
used to
me.
that Power 99 shit.
Yeah.
This was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. Because
He from Rockville Pike.
Cass is on my block. Cass grew up on Robin. I walk out, I open my mom's door, I see his mom's door. So I've been telling people about Cassidy and the battles, and when Hotel came out, if you think Cass was not calling me like, yo, this is your man, this nigga. And I'm like, yo, it's the first single, let that nigga live. And then Gets Better came out from Lashonda, and it was like, and this is still your man. It wasn't until I'm a Hustler came out that it was like, oh, okay. And even that wasn't full blown Cassidy, because he's a battle rapper. You know what I mean? So
who people teased me about? Philly's Most Wanted. They teased me about it, but I said, yo, they can really rap, dog.
They really rap.
But
the problem is that by the time the 2000s got here, it wasn't about, like, if you saw the pre, that wasn't gonna be the post. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't. So, but that's crazy, Riz. That's crazy. The last person I got for me, y'all, I don't know if y'all know. Well, y'all know, but it's a good brother right here, man. Stove God Cooks.
Hey.
First time I heard Stove God Cooks, yo, I was downstairs working out, and T said, yo, I thought you was yelling on the phone. I was like, no, I just had Stove God on. Like, I don't know if I yell anybody's ad-libs as I yell his joints. The first joint I heard from him was on Rock Marcy's album. He's on this joint called Puff Daddy. And before he comes in, he's like, yo, I'm over the stove with the baking soda, like, take that. And I'm like, yo, did this nigga just say I'm over the stove? And he's doing Puff, because the name of the song is Puff Daddy. Then this nigga says, the rest is liars, the niggas is liars. What I do?
Y'all foul. You didn't do nothing. Check the chat.
What happened?
Woo! And then Real put yo, Real, you wrong.
Burn is never gonna let me live this down. The joint is whack. The cover is whack. Whatever.
I'm sorry.
Cranberry
cool.
I ain't gonna lie, that single was fire though.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
I
the cover's whack. I get
it. My favorite was last episode when somebody said, I can't remember who it was like, it looks like he just came home from work, and they're like, no.
That was great.
It's okay. It's cool. It is cool. This is what I'm challenging folk on the timeline to do. Stand behind what you like, no matter how many people make fun of it. Y'all see how quick I can pull this shit out? It ain't like
it's right there.
I can pull it right out. It's cool. I stand behind it. I don't care.
For that. I hear that.
Oh, man.
I'm sitting here like, damn, did I mess up a lyric or something? But back to what I was saying. No, I can't even say the rhymes now, because, man, y'all done got me on the mind. So the nigga, yo, I'm over the stove hitting it with the baking soda, like, take that. Then the nigga said, the rest is liars. Them niggas is lying. Jump out the Maserati in the best attire. Your favorite rapper testify. I'm extra fire. Money talk. This shit extra Tesla quiet. Then the nigga said, the thing that got me, asking about how we had them Benzes on Burke Street, Lexus on State, nigga, that was the worst me. My mama fucked El Chapo and birthed me. When I heard that, I was like, who is this dude? You know what I mean? Then he was like, the dope god, Allah of the pot. He just had the I can never say this chick's name. Arande, because I call her Arande Grande, and I've been calling her Arande Grande for so long. I can't even pronounce her real name.
You just call her the first one you called. That's fine.
Arande Grande, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh God, this nigga said he's the Allah of the pot. We just packed the Ariana Grande in the drop. My young boy Ramadanya block. I was just like, wow. I don't know who the hell this nigga is, but
I might gotta listen to this dude.
Yeah, me too.
I never listened to him.
Bro.
Yo,
Like,
Stone,
I couldn't get into it.
What's it called, Q?
That joint was off Rock Marcy's album, Marcialago, and it's called Puff Daddy. That was the first time I heard him, and then with Reasonable Drought, like, I mean, there's so many. Y'all know me, I love quotables. I mean, there's just so many windable quotables.
Reasonable Drought. Okay.
Reasonable Drought.
Okay.
You know, again,
just listen to
we
it.
talking about Myron. This album cover is horrible. When I saw the album cover, I was like, I'm not listening to that shit. And then my man hit me like, yo, trust me, it's dope. Because I'm like, yo, who designed this? Like, what? So, yeah, like, again, so y'all want to talk about Myron, 2 whack album covers from 2 albums that I love. But, yeah, this joint. But again, it's all straight coke talk. It's coke talk. Like, I was already at my limit. Like, between Pusha and Benny and Conway, I was there. So trust me, for this dude to kind of Brody his way in, Stove Guy it's just too many quotables on it. Too many quotables. So that's it. The people we fell in love with. The only other one I had was Biggie. The first time I heard, God, what is, y'all know 47 is not being kind to my brain. Who's the Man soundtrack? Party and Bullshit. Yeah, that's the first time I heard Big. And I'll never forget, we driving on Lock Raven Road in Baltimore. And this was right before I got on 889 and they played it. And I was like, yo, what the hell? Who is this? You know what I mean? And it was just, again, Party and Bullshit. Like, just was dope. Never heard of Big, never heard nobody rhyming like that before. And it was just like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Anybody got any reasonable doubts? Reasonable doubts. Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. I got 2.
How the hell do you? I'm telling you, enjoy all you folk out there in your early 40s, 30s. Enjoy it, because as the days become longer, your brain will not be what it once was. So, any more reasonable droughts? Any honorable mentions? JR?
Yeah, I got one. I got SWV when I heard them. Coming from New York and moving to South Carolina, you thinking it's weird. Like, I thought the way they dressed was weird. I thought everything was weird. So it was a culture shock. So, my parents used to have like parties or whatever. So people used to just bring music over. And I just remember that I heard I'm So Into You. And I looked at the album cover. And the girls are in hoodies and all that. They got that New York swag to them. And when I heard I'm So Into You, I was like, yo, this is dope. And from 1992, them girls has been my favorite since 1992.
Do you have them over in Vogue?
Yes. As my favorite, yes. The best, no. The best, no. In Vogue is definitely better. But they're my favorite.
Yeah, you know what sold me on SWV? When Coco did that run, she said, the reason why I act the way you do is.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah, you talking about the other version of I'm So Into You. Yeah. She do a second verse that's different. Yeah.
I got 2.
Any more? You got 2, bro?
Yeah.
I just got 1. I got A Fly Girl by the Boogie Boys.
Fly.
Wow.
Yeah. Google that, everybody. Fly Girls by the Boogie Boys.
Bro, for 2 reasons. The beat was stupid, but then I heard that in junior high. I moved to College Park. 9th grade, we have an assembly, and the doggone Boogie Boys do a concert. I'm like, man, I'm in heaven. And
you know what, Burn? Stay with for 1 second, because I want to let the Jay-Z stands know that would be, he used that for That's What Girls Like off the second album with Little Kids.
Please, we're not going to talk about that. Please.
I'm just giving people a reference. I'm giving Stans a reference of where OJ got the beat for the Boogie Boys. Fly Girl is the beat that he used for that.
I understand.
Since Jay is their Lord and Savior, I'm just letting you know that he got to be from that. And what else you got, Vern?
All right, and my UTFO, Roxanne.
Oh,
that's the first. Okay, because I'm true confession. Like Run DMC, I'm in 5th, 6th grade. It was. I kind of realized that growing up with my uncle and stuff, Chick Corea, rest in peace, Chick Corea. My ear was different. The first iterations of hip hop for me was kind of mechanical sounding in a sense. But Fly Girl, I mean UTFO, Roxanne, the full force and all that, it was kind of more musical, and that was like the first rhyme that I remember learning from back to back. So yeah,
bro. And again, I just stayed out the 80s because it would have been I would have just named every group, but I'm just like you, bro. That was the first rhyme that I learned the entire rhyme to, because I could remember getting on the school bus. I'm in 4th grade, and if you could know that rhyme, like you was gonna be the thoroughest nigga on the bus. Like, so it was like, okay, I gotta know every, from the educated rappers part to, every Kango Kid, Dr. Ice, just an incredible group. UTFO, man. Yeah, Def Song. Again, one of those people who aren't, in my opinion, legends, but have a legendary song. You know what I mean? Roxanne is definitely a legendary joint. Eddie, you got anybody else any honorable joints? The choice is yours. The remix?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, man. So like for me, like that was like an epiphany when I heard that, man. Like I was still pretty young when that dropped. Was that 91?
91. That's 91.
91.
So I was 11 years old, man. But that was a party joint. Like that was the joint that me and my cousins and all, like we would, like when we had like house parties and stuff, we were like, yeah, play that again.
Man, that's funny. You were 11. I was a freshman in college.
Sheesh.
And if you didn't drop on your hunches when he said engine number 9, we can't.
Oh yeah.
I feel you. I always tell people, you the feds. If you don't do that, you the feds. I already know. You ain't gotta take no cocaine around me. I'll just play Choice to Yours, and if you don't do that, Eddie, don't pick with Black Sheep, because that's how I felt with Flavor of the Month. You know what I mean? Like the first time I heard that horn sample and Drez rhyming like that, I was like, yo, they down to native tongues, and it felt different than native tonguish. It didn't feel like Tribe, it didn't feel like Daylight, it didn't feel like nobody else. Then they had the ice cream truck, and then Mr. Long had the ill box with the 2 different layers to it, like the stair steps. So yeah, that's a definitely dope pick. For everybody who doesn't know, this is UTFO with Roxanne. I can't tell you how many times I looked at this album cover. Just the fact that Mixmaster Ice had the DJs, had the turntables and the joints like that, and this nigga had on a ninja suit. So this nigga has on a ninja suit, y'all. He like into the ninja on the album cover. Like, and somebody's laughing, but in 1984, Into the Ninja was one of the dopest movies that was out at the time. So wasn't nobody laughing at a DJ who was a ninja. So anybody else? Any more honorable mentions?
I just got one. I got 2 quick ones. This person wasn't like one of my favorites, but this song made me pay attention to him. It was Hostile, Eric Sermon.
Yeah.
Keith Murray. Yeah. I didn't know who Bull was, man. And when he came on, like he destroyed that joint. So that and Jamal from Illegal. Phase Them All, the classic.
Wow, that's a dope album, man.
That whole album is classic. Phase Them All is like one of my favorite songs of all time. And I just thought he was ill. So those are my 2.
All right, who you got, Brett?
One, honestly, is just a beat. Paul Hardcastle, man, the Rainforest.
Man,
I didn't know what that was for 25, 30 years after it came out.
For real?
Yeah, you gotta remember when that came out, I was a kid. I just knew it sounded good.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was.
My pops used to bang that mother.
I'm still trying to find it on wax. And the last one, the love song. Bush Babies and Most Def. Jay Ski used to bang this joint. You go to his crib to go practice, and the bass lines in it, and just the way the kicks was laid. I don't even know who produced it, but it's one of the perfect songs you can learn how to beat juggle as a DJ because everything is spaced out. It's basically like it's a tap pause technique that we use, and you can just basically tap your hand on the record. And every time I would hear him do that, man, I would lose my fucking mind, man. But if you haven't heard it, just YouTube it. It's out there somewhere.
All right. And the last thing I got was Redman on Hardcore off of EPMD's Business as Usual. Like, just hearing Reggie come in like that, like, it was just like, damn, like, this dude about to be a problem. All right, this is dope. Just from this conversation, I got about 3 different show topics we'll talk about off here. Let's get started with Briz. Briz, tell them everything about the book again, good brother.
All right, yeah, man. So the book is called Air Hustler, and the studio blueprint is an introduction to recording arts. Listen, if you know somebody or if you yourself are trying to understand the secret sauce that engineers are doing in the studio, if you wanted to kind of get an idea of basics for any implementation of sound, whether it's game audio, whether it's live sound, whether it's sound for film, I give you all of the basic foundational information that you'd need, and you probably take about a year in audio school to get. I put it in a small format, short book, about 100 pages, just so that you can hit the ground running. Also, I've had a couple people reach out to me, like, you just wanted to support, but they don't necessarily have an interest in that. I am looking for nonprofit organizations that we can take those people who just want to gift those books and gift them to programs for people that have, whether it's like at-risk youth, whether it's people coming home from prison or something that want to take on a new trade or vocation. Please reach out to me. You could get me on my IG at Briz_Air_Hustling, or you could go, you could add me at Twitter, Air Hustling the Book, and I'd love to reach out to any of those nonprofits to find out if we could set up some sort of direct to print. So as soon as somebody donates a book, I'd be able to give that book and match it, so for that one purchase, we'll get 2 books out to a nonprofit that can use that for people that need that type of information that Head Start in life.
And see, this is the thing, y'all, for folk watching at home. This is the thing that hip hop was supposed to be about. You know what I mean? Hip hop was supposed to be about how we giving back to the community, how we giving back. So again, I'm gonna just keep talking my shit. When people want to talk this, are we, Eddie, what was the word? Do we know enough? No, there was a specific word.
Oh, it was proficient.
Are we proficient?
Proficient
If we are
enough, yeah.
proficient enough to talk about hip hop, here's the thing, y'all. I'm proficient enough to know that the culture starts in the community. So if you're that hip hop, come on out into the community. If you can't make it to the community, here's a good example of how you can still help your community by donating a book to kids in the community to learn a skill, learn a trade, and so that they don't have to be like Tret said in Rhyme or Reason. If it wasn't for this hip hop shit, I'd be up in your crib robbing you right now.
Yes, sir.
So this is a way that you can give back to the community. But again, to be proficient in hip hop, it just ain't all about what you know, it's about what you're doing. I challenge people, for all these hip hop experts on Twitter, what are you doing with all this knowledge? Like, fuck it. Let's just say you know every goddamn thing in the world. What are you doing with the knowledge? What's the best album? Liquid Swords only built for Cuban Links for 8 million times. You know everything. You know God. You're God. You're basically a hip hop god. And the best communication you can do with all of this hip hop knowledge you know is ask dumbass questions every day. So again, what are you doing for hip hop on your timeline? Are you teaching? Is anybody coming off of your timeline like, oh shit, I learned something today? Is anybody coming off of your podcast like, oh man, I didn't know that? Or is anybody, this is what I'm talking about with hip hop. Y'all young motherfuckers think it's just about who knows it all. I don't know it all. I'll be the first person in a heartbeat. Niggas tell me, Kill, you a hip hop historian, and I fight that because I'm like, nah, it's too many holes in my hip hop game. I don't know down south hip hop like that. I don't know Texas hip hop like that. So see, that's the difference between me and y'all. Y'all motherfuckers name yourselves. Other people tell me what I am. See, that's the difference between me and you. I don't have to tell people I'm a hip hop historian. People tell me that. So I just like to break this down. Yo, I like to break this down because here's the thing. I know special people in the world. It's special, and I know how to talk to special people. So I know how to dumb it down. What Common say? What Rick J say? I ain't been rhyming like common sense, right? All that. I can dumb it down.
So what's your cash app, yo?
What happened?
What's your cash app? Because you
because I just want people to know that this is the thing. This is the thing that people gotta understand. This is what these hip hop experts can't do. They can't teach on. Cause see, if you teaching on hip hop ain't about dissing each other. Hip hop ain't about, yo, if you don't fuck with me, just keep my name out your mouth. It's literally that simple. You don't see me on my timeline talking about nobody. If you come on my timeline, all you do is see support. Buy this person's album, buy this person's book, buy this person's this and that. Yo, you should check out this person's podcast. You don't see no hatred, no nothing, because that ain't what hip hop's about. So before people want to take shots and all that, like I said, I'll quote let me see if I'm proficient enough. Like I said, let's quote Ja Lil. You know, the rapper Ja Lil. You can say what you want, just spell my name right. But to spell my name right, you gotta tag me. So I'm proficient enough with lyrics. We could go song for song if you want. So all that to just say is like, look, y'all, if you don't fuck with me, that's all good. But just keep my name out your mouth. Keep my crew's name out your mouth. Keep my podcast name out your mouth. And use that energy to make your shit dope.
Exactly.
Use that energy to make your shit dope. Because I've never been one to really get on no shit like this. But in a minute, I'm gonna stop talking to motherfuckers who don't have at least half of what I got as followers. So in a minute, if you ain't got 5,000 or better, I ain't even responding to y'all. And I'm giving y'all half on some nice shit.
And on top of that, since everyone's been on the timeline talking spicy, I want to say probably everyone on this panel right now has gained followers from that whole conversation.
You ain't lying.
You right.
So all y'all haters out there, thank you for the follow.
I'll be at 11,000 followers by the end of the week. So please, by all means, keep talking shit. But seriously, all jokes aside, just seriously, if you really care about hip hop, if you're a hip hop expert and you know the knowledge, we should be bigging each other up. If you got a pod, you've never seen me talk nobody shit about nobody podcast. You know why? Because if you love hip hop, then it ain't about you. It's about the culture. It ain't about whether I like your podcast or not. I tell people this all the time. It ain't about if I like Cormega or not. I'm glad people like Cormega because he's keeping the culture moving forward. Fuck me. It ain't about me. The problem is with y'all mofos, y'all want it to be about you. You want everybody to come to your timeline and see, oh, who talking shit. That ain't hip hop. That's some young girl gossiping high school shit.
We ain't 13.
Yeah, that's some nigga. I'm 47. Ain't nobody got up time to be guy. I don't need nobody coming to my timeline. People come to my timeline because they either want to learn or they want to chop it up. You ain't coming to my timeline to gossip. That's what they go to y'all's for. But that ain't what hip hop's about.
Hey, Kill.
Yes, sir.
Everything that you just said, I watched a rant by Cool Kim of the UMCs on Instagram, and it was. Hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, it was somebody the show that somebody, I ain't gonna even name no names, but they was like, them blue cheese nigga, and he was like, man, y'all gonna stop acting like we wasn't the first people from Shaolin that put them on the map and everything, and plus he's like, for the last 20 years I ain't make no big money in hip hop, but I've been serving the community. I got a foundation where I clothe 100 girls with dresses and stuff, and I got like 400 boys that I'm teaching them how to be men. And I went to rapper X, rapper Y, rapper Z, big names, and they ain't do nothing. They ain't come talk to nobody. So until you do that, if you want to talk about me, talk about that. And until you're doing that, and I thought about you, all the work you're doing in the community, you begging people that got so much to say, come talk to the teams. If you ain't doing that, if you ain't doing that in your hood, shut up.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what hip hop's about. So, again, that's it. Because I said we're gonna do the Michelle Obama. What is it? When they go low, we go high. You know what I mean? I just fans on the timeline because I am from Philly, and I got a problem when people talk shit and they don't name you. Because Rel will tell you that's some nut ass shit. That's what we call that in Philly. That's nut ass.
Oh, so they weren't naming y'all? That's the problem.
That's because they don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke.
They want naming you, Kill?
They didn't name me. They didn't name the podcast. They didn't name anything.
Oh, so they sub.
Subbing.
So that's what I'm saying. That's
you know,
none of
makes
that
sense.
shit.
They Jay fans, right? And Jay is the master of subs, so there you go.
But I'm just saying again.
Eddie gonna get us some more Trump. Eddie, we gonna so here they
Like I
come.
said,
Real said, here they come.
Look at your podcast. Let's go at it. Because I'm telling you, I always let the people talk. Because there's different things for different things. I've always said that I wanted this to be a teaching podcast. I wanted this podcast to be where somebody could come on. You could not know nothing about hip hop, and if you listen to 200 episodes of Apartment 5B, nigga, you gonna graduate with your bachelor's in hip hop. If you do the homework. Because every show, you see what I say. Vern, where should somebody get started? What's the starting point? Okay, Porsche, that's a good group. Where should they look at first? See, I'm making the roadmap for the next generation to be able to learn about the culture. Again, what are you doing with your timeline? What are you doing with your podcast? And if you're not teaching the kids, then what you doing? But again, I digress. I don't even know who the fuck was next because I went on to for the last 10 minutes, so I apologize. Briz was selling the book, and I was saying that's dope how he's donating every 2 books. Yeah. So yeah, everybody. The moral to the story is buy a book. Even if you don't, and at 20 minutes soliloquy, buy a book, even if you don't want it donated. But I'm telling people that this is a dope book because, again, all us producers who now have to become engineers, a lot of the reasons why DJs like Rec may not play your stuff isn't because it's not dope, but if it's not mixed right, if it's not mastered right, you can't put that into a mix show. I can't play your joint next to a Pusha T joint because the sound quality is gonna be off. So this book is gonna help you be able to get your music on par with that. And when you think about it, why would you take all this time to spend all that money to get to this point of the product to now want to be cheap? And now want to take the cheap way out and not finish the product. That's like baking the cake, but not taking the money to go buy the icing and all the cute stuff you put on the cake at the top. Like, no, like if you're gonna make the cake, do it right. All right, so buy that book. Rack One, what's going on with you and Fleet DJs?
Hey man, definitely cop the book. I copped mine last weekend, so take your time, Briz. I want my signature on mine. Fuck it, I'll wait a year. I don't care. Just picked up a new show, man. Trying to put that in the works right now. It's Dilla month, so everything I'm doing is all Dilla all month. It's enough Dilla to do it, so that's what I'm doing. Fuck it. Instagram, catch me at DJ Rec1. Twitter, same thing, DJ Rec1. Mix shows, I'm on Texas Fleet Radio Wednesdays from 8 to 9. The foundation is there. Denver, Colorado, Friday nights 9 to 10. I'm on 98.5. Foundation is there. The new show will be up. I'm not gonna pretty much put the information out because we're still working some backdoor stuff, but I just finalized that today. So just trying to keep working, man. That's really it. It's like you said, Kill. If we're not pushing this thing forward, what are we here for? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing this for? So I'm just trying to push it forward the best way I know how, man. That's with my hands. That's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what it is. Rel, give him everything, good brother.
Instagram, Uptown J Ben. Twitter, JBen215. Briz, I'm gonna buy a couple books because I got some interns at my Performing Arts Center, and they're trying to learn, and I'm training them on the CL5, I'm training them on lights, I'm training them on all that stuff. So we're gonna work.
Use that promo code Apartment 5B.
Okay.
Make sure that we get that 35% off for everybody who uses that. So I appreciate that.
Bet I'm gonna buy a few for that.
I'll do whatever we can to get it in the hands of people that's going to use it.
Bless. Yeah, I got some high school students I work with at my Performing Arts Center doing interns. That's into all that. So I'm gonna get a couple for them, and then what I'm saying, we're gonna work like that.
Do something. Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, Real,
Eddie, give him everything. Freestyles.
What'd you say, Vern?
What's the IG handle?
Uptown J Ben. Uptown JBN.
Word. Yo, so you can catch me on Twitter at EddieD80. I got my freestyle website, so I got an IG also that's freestyle. So what I'm doing really trying to help, promote and, put on, these independent artists, whether they're MCs or producer, you know what I mean? I'm trying to help promote, man, because man, we in different times right now. I know a lot of people trying to do independently, so man, let's promote, man. Put folks on, and so on my website, I got reviews, I got write-ups. You know what I mean? Tomorrow's Bandcamp Friday. You know what I mean? I'm gonna post some of that tomorrow. You know what I mean? If you're not familiar, Bandcamp Friday is the day that any artist on Bandcamp, they get 100% of the proceeds on any purchases. And DJ Rep One, he talked a little bit about his brother. His brother Chade Somerset, he got three projects dropping tomorrow. On my website, I have an interview. I'm gonna post it again. I got an interview with him. He's talking about all his projects, but we spent a lot of time talking about his new projects, how he crafted it and all that stuff. Very dope. You could check out that interview as well. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
It's coming. I can't wait for y'all to hear that, man.
All right. That's what it is. All I heard again was Eddie got a website trying to help artists get their music out there. More hip hop shit. This is supposed to be what hip hop's supposed to be about. So again, more people doing things for the culture. Ask yourselves, what are you doing for the culture but talking shit? Vern, where can they get a house in ATL?
Instagram at V the Lone Closer, on Twitter at VChandler10.
All right, JR, R&B rap, R&B guru. Let them know everything.
Me and Elise got a new show out. We entitled it Catch That. Our first interview is coming out this Sunday at noon. Is with Keith Murphy, and then our next interview is with Zoe, and then we got an interview with not Fonte. We got an interview with Trina Brashard, and then we are in the talks. Fonte wants to do the interview with us, so we're in the talks. So check the rnbreps.com. Follow us on Instagram, the rnbreps.com. You can subscribe to our YouTube page. We're trying to get this, respect our R&B legends. Let them know that they still here. We still got R&B out here. Don't let the mainstream tell y'all that R&B is dead, because it's not. You just got to search for it. And I'm just trying, to preserve R&B for real. Just like on this, platform, y'all preserving hip hop and the culture. That's what I'm trying to do for R&B for real. Me and Elise. So the R&B reps, man.
Bless.
Take the trying out. You doing it, bro. I'm so proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Things are coming
because of that one, Kill told me. He said I needed a website, and once I had it, it went out of here. So.
Little old me. All I try to do is just.
Oh God!
That's all I try to do.
Oh God!
Even when you're the good guy, there's always gonna be somebody talking some shit. So. Hey, I don't know, man. I'm just not fucking around. Nah, Porsche, give him everything, miss. She loves blue. I'm gonna give y'all something new to try out this time. She loves blue and hates Drake. So now y'all got two things that she loves versus just one that she hates. So y'all should be able to get this one right. So Porsche, give him everything.
Just on Twitter at Shayla Porsche.
All right, no doubt. Again, 5B is hosted by So What's the Scenario? Sponsored by What's the Scenario? It's a dope game and it's legit. Like, what I love about this joint is it's legit, real cards, it's nothing cheesy, it's actually a real legit game. So definitely check that out. SoWhat'sGames.com. That's SoWhatGames.com. Use the code Apartment 5B. You get free shipping on it. So check it out. It's a dope game. We're trying to figure out how we can play it on here, even though we're in different places. We'll figure out a way to freak it. And y'all know what it is, Kill889, Twitter, IG, willmakebeatsforfood.com. There's too many ways to get at me if you want to talk shit to not tag me. So at least do that shit. So I'll check y'all next week, and I'll check the haters next week too, y'all.